No, yeah, yeah.
Which are
Okay.
going to be my character's two things.
Welcome
So what
to
I'm doing.
another.
Oh, sorry,
Sorry,
Aaron.
sorry. Welcome to another episode of Critical Misconduct, where me and my buddies we all get to play some RPGs and usually D&D, but tonight we're gonna do something a little different. We're gonna go delve into modern day. We're gonna play some Delta Green. Welcome, agents, to Delta Green. Don't hold tight to your characters. They may not last.
Here for it. Here for it. Anyway.
Here for it. Here for it.
So let's say, okay, so we start out with like 20% alertness, right?
Sure.
And I get a 50% from my profession. How do I input that? Do I input 70 in the little
To the
column that I can change?
to the right. Yep.
Okay. I didn't know if I put 50 or 20 because of the baseline. Just making sure.
I just put my totals in the column to the right, including the percentage for the
Yeah.
base.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's.
Yeah.
I just wanted to check before I did it.
Yeah, the thing should do it itself. I believe the character sheets in Roll20 actually do it itself. So if you make the change, it'll automatically put some of the stuff in. I wish it was a little bit smarter, but
Oh, wait. Wrong thing. Okay.
all right.
Bureaucracy.
So we got to thank Kevin MacLeod for the music that we're using tonight, because that man does music for everything for free, and he deserves to say hello. And his music's awesome. Of course, the creators of Delta Green, which name escapes me, because I want to make sure their name is said, at least their publication. Arc Dreams Publishing. Arc Dream Publishing is the company that made Delta Green. So, what is Delta Green? Imagine X-Files with a little bit of Cthulhu just sprinkled in. It is an agency that's been around since 1914, I believe, in the United States. And it was a shadow government agency until the 60s. Then something very bad happened. It's not really discussed. For about a decade, they were excommunicated from the U.S. government. But it did not mean there wasn't a Delta Green. They just didn't have the resources of the U.S. government to keep going. But then about a decade later, in the 90s, they were put back in to the government. And this is where we stand now, on the verge of apocalypse. And it is your jobs to make sure that A, no one knows, and B, you prevent it from happening. Born of the U.S. government 1928 raid of the degenerate coastal town of Innsmouth, Massachusetts, the covert agency known as Delta Green spent 4 decades opposing the force of darkness with honor, but without glory. Stripped of sanctions after a disastrous 1969 operation in Cambodia, Delta Green leaders made a secret pact to continue their work without authority, without support, and without fear. Delta Green agents slipped through the system, manipulated the federal bureaucracy while pushing the darkness back for another day, but often at a shattering personal cost. And like I said, they were brought back in the 90s, and that's a new addition from the Kickstarter that was made to put them into more modern day. In Delta Green, the role-playing game, you are one of those agents. You're the one they call when unnatural horrors seep into the world. You fight to keep cosmic evil from claiming human lives and sanity. You conspire to cover it all up so no one else must see what you've seen or learn the terrible truths you've discovered. So, before we begin, we like to discuss your character and who you're playing. And I think, Chris, you can go ahead and give us a start. Who is your character? What does he do? And
Who is your daddy and what does he do?
So my character is Alan Harris. He is prior enlisted, was a weather guy in the Air Force, and then went and became a pilot in the Army, Black Hawk pilot, and yeah.
Great. Reagan, who are you playing this evening? And you can pick a first name if you'd like. They just pick a last name so that you could have male or female. So.
Okay. I'll be Dr. Kiki Palmer. And I'm an anthropologist. Finishing up a second doctorate, and just so excited to be here. So happy.
Okay. Greg, who are you?
I am playing Dr. Kamarov. And so Dr. Kamarov is a forensic pathologist, and he has seen some stuff. He got into Delta Green because of the an experience he had that we're not going to talk about, but it had to do with maybe some strange disease that he encountered, that he was obviously unnatural. But he's had deeper experiences since then that have sort of worn away at him and his experiences, and frankly his sanity.
And then Brandon.
I'm still figuring this out.
And it's
My
all right.
character, I can at least say who my character is.
Sure.
My character's name is Special Agent Smith. He is a special agent with the FBI with a background in profiling and behavioral psychology. And he's previously worked in, we'll call it, military intelligence.
Okay. So, how this game kind of works is vastly different than D&D. No more is there rolling a d20. Now you roll d100s. Each person has a skill set. And you'll see a bunch of skills that say 50, 60%, 70%, etc., etc. When I ask you to roll a die, you need to roll the percentile dice and make sure it's under the percentage that you have. If you're under, you succeed. If you roll a 1, it's actually a good thing, not a negative. A 1 is a extreme success. If you roll double numbers, so let's say you roll a 44 and it's a 50 is your number, That is also an extreme success. But if you roll a double number that's above, it's an extreme failure, and 100% is an extreme failure. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
You will also be dealing with not necessarily your hit points, though it's very small. You are a tiny, puny human. Your sanity is what's more important. You could go completely insane. You'll see your sanity points, and each person has their own sanity number. But then you'll see what's one that's called the break. If any time during this adventure you hit your breaking point, you will go insane. You will break down. And with that, we're going to move forward here. Does anybody have questions, concerns?
Just test something. Okay.
It does it pretty well. Accounting, 89%. Failure.
Who knew? Soldier isn't good in accounting. Huh.
Wait, what'd you do to click on? What you just click on?
So click on the
button?
green part, yeah, and then without a modifier, just hit submit, and it rolls.
Now,
That's
there-
what I figured as much, but I wanted to test it.
right. So you see that there's a modifier, an input modifier. You may, depending on the situation, get a plus 20 or a plus 40% boost. If I deem the situation makes sense that you would get a boost. You also could get a negative 20, a negative 40, if the situation is dire or you are under a lot of stress. The one thing you got to understand with this game is that you can die. Hell, it's built into the system to die. And that's it. It's all right. It's more opportunities to build more characters and do different things. Someone else will go insane. You can also not die. You can go completely insane, and you can never use that character again because they are batshit crazy.
That's what I'm shooting for.
Which is far worse than death, in my opinion.
Nah, give me fucking nuts. I'm here for that.
Yep.
Alive and crazy to me. I'll shake hands with the elder gods.
Any questions or concerns before we move forward?
I have
How
a
does
question.
Sure.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
So, well, this is so one of the things, right, is that I'm pursuing a second PhD,
Mm-hmm.
and one of the things that I specifically wanted to do is pursue linguistics so that I can have additional languages.
Mm-hmm.
Is that something that I can do?
There are, because that's what I was just about to ask, is the bonus skill point packages.
That's already pre-built in this character.
Oh, that's right, for your character. Yeah, it's already.
You kind of like adjusted a character, and that's fine.
Yeah, if you ended up building it from scratch, Brandon, yeah, you pick either a bonus package or I think it's like it says 7 or 8. It's in that like first paragraph on that page.
Okay, that's what I'm looking at.
Let me scroll down. So yeah, optional bonus skill.
Quickly skill. Okay, so just 8 skills
Yeah.
that you.
So you either pick
Got it,
that or
got it.
8 of your own, or you can double up like it said before. So you can actually do like 20 and like 40 into a skill.
Right. And
Yeah.
concerning gear and stuff too, just making me sit back here. With this situation, with this game, if I think it's logical that you would have certain gear with you at this adventure, sure. If it's something that is kind of questionable, or it could be I will make you do a luck roll, which is much more appropriate. So it's either you have it or you don't. You know, I'll leave it to luck, which is always, the luck roll is always 50-50. So,
And if your score combined with the baseline is over 80, that means it stays 80, right?
yeah.
I
Okay.
just purposely selected other scores to boost instead of.
Well, no,
going over.
just for the intelligence case officer, you get 50 in unarmed combat, and everybody starts out with 40,
Oh, I
which
see
would
what
put
you're
me
saying.
at 90. So yeah, it stays. I write 80 because we can't go over 80. Percentage-wise, right?
That would be
Or am I
fair.
wrong?
And none of mine. Well, it says for starting characters you shouldn't, but
Yeah, I
It's
think
up to
you
you.
can, because I have some that are 90, but
I guess if it's
from the
built into the
pre-made.
starting class, it makes sense. You know.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I got to fix that.
You
That's
just
the only
have
one
to
that I ran
explain
into
why.
that. Okay.
Yeah, like Aaron had explanations for like if something's really high or really low, like how.
Yeah, because for example, I'm a forensic pathologist, but I'm a physician. So my first aid is 90. you
Yeah.
know, which makes sense, you know.
Yeah.
You deal with dead bodies.
Well, and I
Yeah.
used to deal with the live ones because I used to be in internal medicine. Before all this crazy shit.
Okay. We're actually going to you guys get a contact on Saturday, July 4th, 2015. Now, it's pretty easy. The sad thing is it's July 4th. If you have any sort of bonds with friends or family, oof, this is going to be hard for you to figure out. But this is one of my favorite things to ask you. Besides the federal agent, which is, you know, pretty easy. So, for instance, Brandon, you are currently, what's your charisma?
My charisma is a 15.
A 15, so it's very good. And what's your bonds?
Same as the one you created. My two bonds are an
I didn't create
ex-wife.
them. They were built by the game.
Oh yeah. So yeah, ex-wife with 2 kids and a current spouse.
Okay. So, Brandon, you are sitting. You're actually sitting. It's July 4th, 2015. You are actually outside at the like classic grill, like a gas grill, on a deck, just enjoying cooking a couple of burgers, and you see it was your turn taking your kids for the holiday. So you have the 2 kids playing on the swing set in your backyard. You're enjoying the 4th of July. Your new wife is like doing some things, getting, you know, the other condiments and other things together. You're just enjoying the day. You crack open a beer, you take a sip, and you hear a ring from your phone, your cell phone.
He just like sighs, and he looks over at the new wife and just kind of smiles and says, "Sorry, honey, I got to take this." And he picks up the phone.
Agent Smith. And you see it's your boss.
Speaking.
You've been assigned counter-terrorist event. You're gonna have to set out a flight out to California. You leave in 2 hours.
Yes, sir. Normal means of transportation.
Click.
Take that as a yes.
The only reason you ever hear counterterrorism is only one thing. Delta Green. Next thing you know, you hear blink, and you check your Outlook, or it's more like your Gmail on your phone, and you see 2 tickets. Flight leaves in 2 hours. You need to get on a plane to California now. Meanwhile, back at the pathology lab, because I don't know how much family you have. I don't know your bonds.
I have 2 kids.
You have 2 kids?
Mhm.
How is your connection with
sons.
your kids right now?
That is not the connection that the bond that I destroyed.
Mm.
The bond that I destroyed was his church bond, because I think he's lost all faith that he ever had. But he's gone through some transformations, and so he's kind of paranoid now. So I would say he's with his kids, and the phone rings, and he visibly jumps and looks over at the phone, and his kids kind of look at each other, and they get a look, like a knowing look, like, oh great, so, and he answers the phone.
And it's a similar motif. Counter-terrorist event, you need to get on the plane. You've been reassigned.
Okay.
Here's
he puts the phone down,
Yep.
and he looks over at them, and they kind of look at each other, and they look away from him. They don't talk to him. They don't say anything.
These kids are older, 14, 15, I would assume.
Yep. Yeah, but they know the drill, and they're not happy.
Oh yeah. What would you? Because my character's like late 30s. So what would you say his kids' age are?
I would say 8 and 10.
Yeah, that makes sense because he was military, and that he's normal federal agent. A few years in military, and then.
Okay, well that makes sense if they're like maybe 7 or 8. Yeah.
Okay.
You had them early in your life. You were from your first first wife, married, while you were in the military. So that's how it works. Here's the best part: you 2 operatives are civilians. The operations is a little bit different. It's easy for them to get contacted and just say you're being transferred or whatever. What covert way does Delta Green contact you? Is it at your day job, or is it at your how do they contact you?
Is that for me?
Yeah, for both of you and Reagan. Civilians are fun because they get to do weird things. They can say weird things can happen.
So you said we're civilians normally?
Yeah, I could say like you're a crop dust pilot. They probably still do that, right?
Yeah, we'll do airlift. What do you
Airlift?
call it? Medevac or like life flight type thing. Yeah.
Oh, okay, that makes sense too.
That kind of helicopter pilot. Yeah, it makes
Sure.
sense for a Black Hawk pilot. Yeah.
Because they're also crop dusting helicopters, right? Too. They do exist. I
I'm
would
sure
assume.
they do. Yeah.
But I was just trying to throw things out there.
Yeah.
All right, so like, give me an idea. Like, how covertly do they try to contact you? Is it some sort of weird, like, call, or is it like a letter, or is it you're sitting at a diner and someone just sits next to you? What?
I'll say for Dr. Palmer, she's going to be at the university probably always. So, but she's not great with technology, so somebody will have to bring her a letter.
Here's what happens to you, Reagan. You are sitting, it's about, I don't know, you're in a library usually 90% of the time.
Yeah.
You're in the medical, not medical library, you're in a, well, just a general library. I get, like your college library doing research. And you are slowly like working on something and reading, and you slowly doze, and then you just hear in your back of your head, wake up, and you suddenly and you look around and it's all quiet. And you look to your right, and you see an envelope. Long manila envelope with a tie, you know, the red ties, sitting, laying at your desk side.
Have I seen this before?
Yeah.
Okay.
You go to open it.
Then, yeah. Oh. Okay.
And you see 2 plane tickets, or a plane ticket. That's about it. A plane ticket to California, and a piece of paper. Small little, it's actually not a piece of paper, it's a little card, like a business card.
Ooh, California. Maybe I can go to Disneyland.
And then that excitement slowly turns to however you want to feel as you look at the business card and you see a green triangle in the center. Solid green triangle.
Okay.
Delta Green is calling you to go. And your
There's
flight,
no other. Is there any? There's nothing written down. It's just that's it.
that's enough. You have your flight going to California.
They could have said please.
And it says get on the flight. And you assume usually someone will meet you there to take you.
I'd say for me, he says 4th of July, so I'd probably be at the hanging out like the VFW, you know, and we'll say that the bar phone rings. I'm not used to getting calls at the, like here. Bar phone rings, bartender calls me over.
Harris,
Yeah.
you've been called back in.
Fuck me. That was done.
Delta Green is never done.
Those fuckers. Okay.
Mailbox.
Where you need me?
Mailbox. At
Like
your home.
my home one or the VF? Okay.
And then you hear click.
Hey, Bill. I need another beer. I definitely chug one before I head out.
Absolutely, like you
And
should.
a shot. And a shot, of course.
I think Dr. Palmer is gonna carry back as many books as she possibly can to bring with her, so that she doesn't miss any time.
Oh my god, you can play multiple things at once. That drives me nuts. Okay.
Wondering what was happening.
I didn't know it would play everything all at once. Which I guess makes sense if you're doing like noises and stuff. You see him chug the beer, and it zooms out. I don't like that one either. This is fine.
Oh, Aaron, it also says my sanity is down. So what does that mean?
What's your sanity score? Current.
I mean, it's currently just whatever the natural, like whatever the baseline.
What's your maximum? 99?
99.
And your current?
50.
Then it's 50.
But it's just... Okay.
Some other event happened to you that caused you to have that in your past?
Yeah, I wonder why my sanity is lower than my
So
the character.
if you look at motivations, you'll see like certain things and reasons. Like Reagan's sanity is down too.
But that's my mom's fault. So.
But that's my mom's fault.
I'm sorry, Dr. Palmer, not you.
So your base sanity point should have been 5 times your power? Or was that one? Yeah, power.
Oh, so my base is 50.
Yeah, that's what your starting would be. Now, if you lost any from a motivation, then you would have to take it down from there.
So yeah, so no, I've lost sanity from there, Aaron. What's my?
Because I lost sanity for my motivation, so.
Because yeah, it's in my backstory. It says a couple of years ago you spent extensive time undercover investigating a dangerous militia group. It was a hard experience and it exposed you to something unnatural. When it was over, your second marriage was ruined, your sanity was down, and you knew more about the occult and a lot more about heavy weapons.
Yep. So here's the deal, and this is what I gave. Colleen played a similar character to you in our game. In doing that, like you said, you were walking in on this event. You actually interrupted a ritual. A cult ritual.
All right.
And it was you and what's the name of a group of people that are breaking in to take everyone down?
Task force?
Like a task force.
A raid?
Yeah, like a raid. You were like doing a raid type thing. And you go in there, and I'm just taking it from the last when I talked to Colleen about this, the same thing. You go into the raid, and you catch it too late where the dagger goes right into that person on the table, killing them. And insanity pursues, and you think you got everybody covered, everybody's getting arrested, but you interrupted the ritual. And suddenly you see the dead body of the person that was stabbed rise again and start eating the people around you. Complete anarchy, complete insanity. As you are then running for your life. And suddenly you are of great power to sudden a child running for their lives.
Yeah. Scourge.
That,
Big scourge.
yeah. That was the reason. And the thing is,
Gotcha.
as soon as she would bite somebody, they would be infected. And they would be infected. And then you were just running for your life at that point. The only way it ended was with an explosion. Thank God, because there have been a lot worse problems if it'd gotten out. Fair? I think.
Yeah, fuck yeah, I'm here for it. I'm here for. I'm here for intelligence agent finds out the supernatural exists because he sees somebody get eaten by a fucking zombie. Sounds great.
Cool. That way you can keep the stats. It makes sense.
Yeah.
And you'll see your breaking point too is below that. And you only have to worry about breaking point is if you lower your sanity down to that breaking point. You just let me know if that happens. All right. You guys get on your flight. You guys walk up and you see the usual guy holding a sign asking you to come with them. You get into a black van. And you end up being at a local post office, which is a hiding place. It's not uncommon for Delta Green to use a post office or, you know, something quiet. They escort you in. The driver then follows you in with them. He goes, and you see, like, it's a small little office in the corner. He closes the couple blinds. Looks like there's a bunch of storage of stuff. Close the door. And he goes, agents, thank you for coming so quickly.
You're welcome.
And here is going to be your first handout. You must go to Rancheris Falls Trailhead Ranger Station in Hetch Hetchy region of Yosemite National Park. You're to investigate the recovery of a 6-year-old child who was found wandering naked in a field by a ranger early yesterday morning. By the time you've gotten, like, everything out here, it's now, like, Sunday morning. Okay? Just to give you an idea.
Aaron, can we see the handout somewhere?
Yeah, I said show to everyone.
Yeah, I'm
Roll
seeing
20.
it.
Where
It
should
popped
it?
up in roll 20 above the map.
It's just
might
like
need
a
to
little
refresh.
pop-out
No, it
window.
did.
Oh,
That's, I don't know why it took so long. That's weird.
I had to redo it.
I didn't see you in roll 20 for a minute, Greg, so I don't know what happened. Maybe your connection to roll 20 died or something.
Could be.
The child has identified himself as Brandon McGill of Topeka, Kansas. You are to locate the child, identify the child, which I gave you at least the name, determine whether an unnatural threat is in the area, remove the unnatural threat, and make the outcome appear mundane. Any questions?
Do we have
how do
access
we-
to the child?
The child is currently at the ranger station.
Okay.
Unfortunately,
do we know
we
how
were.
the child got to the ranger station?
That is unknown and unclear at this time.
Who called him? Who? So his parents presumably called him in as a missing child, and that.
This is unclear. This is all I know at this time. I'm sure you'll get more information as you head to the location or get to the location itself.
Are the authorities aware that anybody is coming?
The FBI is going to be coming in the next 24 hours. You have, or well, no, you have until Monday. They are to be coming. I should say Monday.
But the Rangers will not be aware of us as a law enforcement agency representation.
You can currently use your current credentials. We unfortunately have such a short time span. We were unable to get you fake credentials at this time. Figured having 2 agents was more than enough. to get you through the issues. Any more questions? Great. We'll be supplying you a vehicle. Anything you would think you would need, get. Unfortunately, I can't provide too much myself, but in such low, we just had such a short amount of time. I'm sure you can get some of the basics. Going out into the wilderness could be dangerous.
I didn't pack my hiking boots. Can we stop at an REI?
Aaron, one of the things that I didn't ask you about this, but this is why I raised the skills that I raised, is that I would say after the experience that he had, he's gone a little bit like paranoid, and he does carry a firearm now. Is it okay if I have a firearm?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's fine.
Just like a pistol or something, or not a pistol, but a revolver, whatever. Nothing.
Yeah, no, that's fine. You could have a standard. I would assume through the FBI that you could be, weapons trained and you could have a piece.
Okay, a pistol.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, I have my what is it? My standard issue is 9mm.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, that's what I fell under, a medium pistol as well. That's what I grabbed. So, yeah.
My dad sometimes goes hunting, so I have shot a gun before. So, but I don't have one.
how do you actually roll on the sheet?
Click like the green. Click like any of the green boxes for the skills, and then if Aaron gives us a modifier, you add it. Otherwise, you just hit submit. So, I guess because it is a standard expense, and I know people like this, would I potentially have a Kevlar vest that I could wear under my clothing? It wouldn't be completely unlikely for a vet to have one, but I figure I'll ask.
I want you to roll, and this will be so everyone has a 50-50 shot on luck, right?
Is luck an actual skill in here, or we're?
Yeah. So here's
or do
what
you just roll?
there should be.
Oh, I see. I see. Yeah.
So here's what I want you guys to do. I want you, all four of you, to roll a luck roll. This will determine what you could get on the plane.
As part of my profession, it says I can bring my weapons onto a.
Yeah, and that's fine
I mean,
for some people.
Anybody can check a weapon. That's just normal for. if you're
Oh
checking
no,
a
I
weapon,
mean
it's
it.
not an issue, but yeah.
It says if you're one of the
Agent.
federal agent backgrounds that you can present your FBI or
Oh,
whatever.
like actually
Yeah.
have it. Yeah.
Yeah, and have your weapon on the plane.
Okay, so here's the deal. The other two, it gets ruled out because there's two FBI agents that could have their weapon on them or take it with them, no problem. The other two, you were very lucky because the person that got on your planes, that helped you get on the planes and got through your bags, was secretly a Delta Green agent. And they searched your bag instead of you going through the detectors. So Chris and Reagan would have whatever would fit in a duffel bag. Fair?
I think Chris would be more prepared than I would be. I don't know what she would think to even be prepared to bring.
Hey, I'm saying it was a 50-50 shot from all four of you.
Yeah.
But it was because, you know, two of you already had the okay from the US government. I thought it was only fair. Leave the luck roll. If you leave it to luck. If someone else had had a failure, it would have been. So, keep that in mind. I have no problem with you having like a. So if you want it, whatever can fit in a duffel will fit. You can take with you. Okay. You get driven out. You get a vehicle. It's just a black SUV. Nondescript. 4-wheel drive SUV. And let me get the maps moving. You guys make it to the entrance to the national park.
I'm gonna say before we get in the car,
Sure.
and it's just a quick hand wave. Don't worry, Aaron.
Mm-hmm.
He just stops and looks at the group and says, "Are any of you professional drivers?"
Pilot, but no.
Good. I'll drive. And just takes the keys.
Do you have driving skills?
Yeah.
Okay. So you can then, you know, here's like, it's really cool because they've made it so that I can switch in real time the background by choosing random sides. And as it's driving out, if you can imagine you guys zooming out, and let's see if I can find the name. As it zooms out, you see the what looks like, you know, like it was like it was a movie, and you see Operation Fulminate, the Sentinels of Twilight. Just to give you some nice pictures of Yosemite.
Yosemite.
Yosemite. We were just discussing that on I think it was yesterday or day before. Yosemite. Because Donald Trump called it Yosemite.
God damn it. I didn't even know that. I was just saying that to be an asshole.
Obviously, so did he.
Yeah.
Or that he's just dumb.
When reality's so stupid, you can't make a joke about it being stupid. Anyway. Jesus Christ.
You guys drive up into a parking lot. It takes you a little bit of ways into Yosemite. And you come to the building, the small little cabin, the station. They thought of everything. But let's just have an inside image of a state park's like. As you're walking out, getting out of your car, you see like looks pretty normal. There is you see a couple of backpackers Just leaving their car then and there. You see people walking around. Seems relatively, not crazy busy, but there's people around. And I can give you guys another look at the Trailhead Station. Here you go. So you see there's the parking and there's the main building. You guys start heading out and you see this building. You like I said, you see a couple cars here. You actually see the ranger station, at least 2 cars, rangers, jeeps, like they would. And you see the ranger station ahead of you. What do you guys do?
Sorry, I was chewing.
You just walk in. Is the door unlocked?
Yeah, door's unlocked. You, like I said, you open up and you see what you kind of saw before. Here, you see this. You see this woman sitting there at the desk.
So this is the welcome center, right? Not the ranger station?
No, this is the ranger station.
Okay.
Many of these ranger stations are like they do work as many like,
Yeah, I actually found that out when I was a teenager, unfortunately, because I had a run-in with a park ranger. I got a little bit of trouble, not a lot, but I found out that a park ranger actually has like more legal power than like highway patrolmen. Like they're
police.
pretty on the.
They're police.
Yeah, like they're.
Yeah, and they're technically federal agents because they fall under the like the land management or whatever.
Bureau of Land Management. Yeah.
They can technically arrest people. They can technically they can do everything a police officer could do. It's just basically federal land, so they are federal officers that act like police officers for that land.
Yeah, we thought park rangers were just like fun and oh god, we prevent forest fires, and yeah, we were all screwing around, and they pulled up like police officers. We were like, what is this? Yeah, found out the hard way. They're just like police officers.
And not all of them have like guns. Some of them like there's always at least one that does, but they don't. They usually hold but they don't usually have like 9mm. That's usually like realistic to what they're doing. So they have like revolvers. They have stuff that kick because obviously they're dealing with more animals than people most of the time. So you guys get into this office. And you see this woman, let me make sure I get the name. Please bear with me. I don't know why they do this, why they put like the backpackers and all that first, and then they put like the actual like...
people that you're going to need.
All the way at the bottom, and you're like, really? All I want is the park rangers. Should have just printed this out. Okay. You see in the front there a Douglas. You see on his name tag it says Kina. And he's talking to another ranger named Tomika. You see Gallegos and Kina on their name tags as you walk up.
Sorry, I thought you were still.
Nope, that's what I'm giving you the information. You actually see, like, there's a maps and stuff like on the side that you can just take. There's, you know, exactly what it kind of looks like right there. You see the map that's hiding underneath the glass. You see there's radios.
While I'm waiting for one of the agents to talk, I definitely grab one of the maps you can take with you.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
I'm kind of waiting.
Me
I'm kind of
too.
deferring over to the, our field
okay,
agent in charge. I'm
so
just kind of looking over.
here you go. It gives you a general map here, the map of the Hetchney Reservoir and surrounding area.
Hetchy.
I shared it to you guys.
O'Shaughnessy.
The O'Shaughnessy Dam, the Devil's Chair, the Trailhead Station, and the Backpackers Campground is nearby.
Are we at the trailhead station?
Yes, you
Does
were
the
at
map on the counter have a "You are here"?
Yes.
The Devil's Chair.
The Devil's Chair.
Yeah, after he sees the two rangers, he'll just sort of walk up and very, very, official. Excuse me, Special Agent Smith, FBI. I heard you had some trouble with a missing child recently.
Well, he looks at you, goes, "Oh, well, not missing. We found the child." And your agent who?
Smith.
Smith.
And he hands over his badge and ID.
And he looks to the rest of you. And he goes, and who are they?
I flashed my badge.
Yeah, what's your last name?
Kamarov. Doctor.
This is Agent. Oh, this is Agent Kamarov, and these two are
Private
civilian advisors.
Good morning.
And he looks at you guys a little bit off. But then he looks and he goes,
I flash him my VA ID and be like, "It's a healthcare card, but that's my credentials."
I will also
but
flash
anyway.
my university ID. Just from far away, so like just that we're both showing something.
What's your background, Reagan? Because I imagine my character would probably have tried to figure out what everyone does.
So I am an anthropologist, really more of an academic, and I'm also currently in the same university at which I'm an adjunct professor of anthropology, learning linguistics.
she's a doctor.
Yeah.
She is also a doctor. So
He kind of looks at the knowing what the two of them does. He looks at the ranger and he just says, "Yeah, they're civilian contractors. She's a specialist in human behavior, and our friend here was a former survival expert. Thought he might be useful in the given the terrain."
he goes, "Well, all right, sounds good. I was told there was going to be a special team heading your way. And he hands a envelope to you guys. Give me a minute. I'm gonna make sure I get the names. FBI agent told me to hand you this. An agent Delilah Sands. And he hands you this envelope. And you see the little, just like, it's like lightly, like, it just using like a green, like, highlighter is a little triangle in the corner, as if it was inconspicuous. It was not like official, but it's like on the corner, you know. And he goes, I was told to give this to the next FBI agent in charge. If you want to take a look, you can. The child is currently upstairs, resting. He was found very thin.
Were you the one who found him?
No, there was actually my cohort here. She found him on the trails.
Oh, that must have been harrowing. I'm so sorry.
And
Can you tell me more about how you found him?
She goes, "Well, I just was doing my rounds around the the devil's chair, and he came out of the brush out of nowhere, asking for help."
Is there anything around that area? Any campsites? Or...
Usually they keep to themselves the campsite.
Is the child? Go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead. What were you going to ask?
I'm just going to ask, has the child shown any signs of illness or unusual physical characteristics for the harrowing experience that they've been through?
Nothing too unusual.
Anything could be important.
The only thing that was really weird is that he refused to take a bath.
I see.
He screamed about it being too hot.
What was he wearing?
Nothing. The
What
water.
was the temperature of the water?
Safe to the touch, you know. Like I just. And she also looks to you and she goes, I have a child myself. I would have thought just, you know, the elbow check, you know, that it wasn't too hot. Just wanted to clean. But we just ended up using a wet, damp cloth to clean him up. Wet, you know, room temperature, you know.
So he did allow himself to be clean.
Yeah, he just didn't like the heat.
Have you checked the child for temperature?
No temperature. Well.
But you checked.
Yeah, well, the best we could. I mean, normal temperature, but there's some more weird things. And she kind of looks upstairs and back to you. And he goes, I have to get back to work. We have to continue our rounds, make sure everybody's safe. There is a storm coming. And you've noticed that there is kind of a dark tinge to the back. And you can, you as a weatherman would even sense it as you were walking out of the car, that the ozone change, and there's some of the wind is kicking up, and this is, you go to check your smartphone just for a basic, you know, weather maps, because you've out of your own, it's one thing you do, and you're looking at it, there's this big storm coming through.
Yeah, I definitely.
What is your science skill for that?
Meteorology, I'm 60%.
60%?
Yeah.
It's unusual. Not unusual in it being a storm. That's normal. But it looks like it hasn't come from anywhere. Like usually you see it like coming from the, like it's coming from the winds, or the it looks like it just came out of nowhere. It doesn't look normal. It doesn't look like it's kind of. It looks like almost like it's sitting there and slowly moving. It doesn't. You check it again, and it seems really weird.
I'll bring this up to the group. Be like, hey, this storm they said's coming in. It's not normal. Didn't come from anywhere.
I don't know what you would consider that in meteorology, but it's not following the normal patterns.
Yeah, yeah.
Like the conditions
Yeah.
in the climate aren't right to create the storm.
Yeah. Like we didn't see it cross across the valley and,
Yeah, and-
come up
and
this
you
way
would be-
towards the mountains.
I'm assuming you, as even as a civvy now, are you have a tendency to look at weather patterns still to this day.
Oh yeah, no. Well, and especially if I'm a pilot, I would be like
Yeah.
looking at the weather
It's
before
in
I
your-
take off every time, anyways. and stuff
Yeah,
like
it's
that.
just in your head now, and you always check, and it's like, this is really weird. This pattern doesn't make sense. It's not following a trajectory that is normal. It's not it can't be. It's not crazy, but it's still weird. The head walks away. And she goes, I can go lead you, have you go meet him if you'd like.
Was it her that said something about there being something else, or there being...
Yeah, something else is weird about him.
But so she didn't finish. I mean, because I know he interrupted the conversation. So
Yeah.
when that I'm gonna look to her to
She's reluctant
expect her to.
right. She's reluctant to say anything more. She's kind of weirded out by it.
So what do I do to schmooze her? Like, do I just, like,
Well,
other
she-
than just talking to her?
She offered to bring you to the child.
So he's gonna, before that happens, though, he kind of, or I should say, as they're walking and talking, he'll kind of say to her, you mentioned there were some other details about the child. Could you tell me more? Anything could help.
There's something. I can't really explain it. It's something on his neck, and you'd have to look at it. The
A
pathologist
wound or mark?
So while you're doing, she's like, you'd have to see it yourself. It's strange. While she's talking about that, I would assume Dr. Kamarov takes the paperwork and opens it up.
Mm-hmm.
Here you go.
How do I get into it though?
You don't. You just read the stuff that's underneath.
Oh.
Okay. The agent has given you this information. Brandon F. McGill disappeared from the Hetchy area in Yosemite near a natural landmark called the Devil's Chair on June 22nd, 1980. He was with his parents on a vacation. The Devil's Chair is a natural stone structure of shattered columnar basalt that happens to have cracked and collapsed from a vague seat 3 meters tall and 2 meters wide. It is a popular tourist attraction. Brandon McGill's parents, Ian and Ann McGill, aged 27 and 26 at the time, claimed the child was right there with them when he vanished. It was approximately 4:30 p.m. The FBI became involved after a night witness claimed to have seen a man in black clothing following the McGills down the trail. 2 independent witnesses volunteered this information. One described the man as tall and pale. The other described only as a figure in black. Multiple searches, one of which over 100 personnel and 2 helicopters, found nothing. Brandon McGill was officially declared dead in 1987. His parents did their best to get on with their lives until the phone call from Brandon on Saturday morning. Brandon McGill's father, Ian, was briefly investigated due to a domestic violence charge in 1979. This had to do with an infidelity. But when the family reconciled, the couple reconciled, his wife Anne dropped the charges. Park rangers' reports mention other children's disappearing in the park under similar there then not circumstances. 24 children vanished in Yosemite over the last 40 years. The report of a long-retired park ranger named Wallace DeLeo mentioned other oddities. Bad weather follows disappearances. The same thing happened there on June 23rd. A huge squall hit the lake for 2 days from out of a blue sky. Dogs could find no scent of McGill. That led many older rangers to conclude the boy wouldn't be found. When lost children are found, it is often miles from where they were lost. Veteran rangers encouraged a huge search radius. Often the child loses shoes or other clothing, but is found unarmed. Those that are recovered have high temperatures and are withdrawn and disoriented. The disappearance almost always occurs late afternoon or early dusk. McGill vanished at 4:33 p.m. The disappearances tend to occur in areas overgrown with huckleberries. The Devil's Chair area is covered in huckleberry bushes.
Well, I'm a huckleberry.
Thank you. Somebody had to say it. So if these storms are following the disappearances, did somebody else go missing when he showed up?
And is he the first child to have been reappeared?
They're either never returned or found dead or something like. And I'm assuming this is actually based off like real statistics of children going missing in Yosemite Park. So it didn't seem too unusual at the time. But putting two and two together, this agent has given more information.
And who was this Brandon McGill report prepared by?
It was prepared by
It says the Federal Bureau of Investigation, Justice, or Department of Justice.
Delilah
so
Sands. It was a Delta agent, a Delta Green agent in the behavioral analyst unit had gotten this to you guys.
Okay.
They got an email saying they had to email, they had to print, they had to have it printed out and handed it to you, which they did.
Did they read it?
You can assume that they did, but there's nothing in there that's unusual.
Okay.
You know, like it nothing in there, it screams like there's some weird occurrence happening. It sounds like they were just descriptions of everything that was going on. You know, like what's the concern with his disappearance to compared to the other disappearances? This is all important information that any FBI agent would want to know. And it wouldn't sound unusual. As kind of a quick summary of all the details and information that was given to you. So it wouldn't give any red flags, anything to the Rangers themselves.
But there's nothing in here about reappearances.
Nope.
This is the...
They said those
Well,
that
okay.
are recovered
I mean-
have high temperatures and are withdrawn and disoriented. So children have
Oh.
been
Yeah,
found.
there have been one, and
Okay.
often found miles where they were lost,
Mm-hmm.
missing shoes and clothing.
And here's just for you guys to have, is a map of the Trailhead Station for you guys. The first floor and the second floor. Okay. I've just given you all the handouts that we have. With that, I'm going to move you guys into the Trailhead Station as the main thing. Because why not?
Yeah, he's definitely going up to talk to the little boy. After having seen this info.
I would assume after like some SEER training conduct after capture and stuff like that, I'd be going up with him to see.
Okay.
Yeah, the doctor
If
wants
that's
to
good.
inspect the child.
All right. So you go up to the second floor. And there's like a common area that they've kind of left where people would usually be. I believe that's what that is. Let me make sure. That's the first floor. Sorry, just want to make sure. Second floor. So the common area they've kind of blocked off for the child. And you see there's a door here. On the... Let me see if it'll double click. No, it's... you see there's... As you go up the stairs, you see there's a door here. Next to the right of the stairs. And you see there's this open common area. But it says storage. They had they had a small bed there for whatever occurrences may be needed. You do notice that this space is rather large. It can fit quite a bit of people if need be. Any of the FBI or the survivalists or anybody would notice looking around. It's like it's a rather large space. It looks like you could hold about 20 people in here if you had to. 40 if you had to squeeze.
That's a big ranger station.
It's a larger ranger station, but it makes sense. It's a greeting area and a couple other spaces. It would make sense. So she leads you upstairs, and you head up the stairs, and as you turn the corner and you hear, the floorboards are creaking, you hear a sudden slam. And she looks and turns around and she goes, it's got to be the storm, the weird pressures. The doors have been slamming and windows have been opening. It's been weird. We've seen weird things happen before. And she goes and opens the door. And she goes, Brandon? As you see this kid sitting in like a sweatshirt and sweatpants when it says Yosemite National Park, as he's like sitting, knees up against his chest in the bed.
He's gonna summon up all his charisma, and for you three, it will probably come off as like slightly unsettling because his personality changes completely. He's like normally very businesslike, doesn't make conversation, not very personable, and he just leans down, like not leans, but kind of like walks towards his little boy and kind of like, I don't want to call it like the Asian squat, but like half Asian squat, and kind of like gets down on the kid's level. And
like
he goes,
the cool teacher.
yeah, cool, exactly, the cool teacher. And he's like, hi, Brandon. Do you mind if I talk to you for a minute?
He turns his head and he just shakes it and he goes, oh, okay.
Okay. Well, he kind of looks up for a second and goes, my name's Agent Smith. I'm a psychologist. You know what a psychologist is?
And he shakes his head. He's 6 years old, so he probably doesn't. quite
Yeah,
get it.
it's okay. Well, a psychologist, we help people. We talk to people when they've been through hard things. So I just wanted to talk to you and ask you a few questions and see how you're doing.
I'm okay. I'm just happy to be out of the woods.
Good. Is it okay if my friend here, he points at the other agent, he goes, my friend here, he's a doctor. Is it okay if he takes a look at you too, see if you're okay?
He goes, oh, okay.
Okay. All right. So then I'm gonna inspect him.
All right. So, and you ask him, like, take off your shirt at least to look and all that, or?
Right, and I'm gonna pay special attention to his neck.
Okay.
Since I was told about that.
So, first thing with the search, or you did a medicine. Your medicine's like 80, right? Or 90?
Yeah, I think it's 80.
Okay.
Hold on. I think my first aid is 90, but I think my medicine is 80. Why is my character sheet not up anymore?
While he's doing that, I would definitely be like, so, in your opinion, how long do you think you were gone for?
He shakes his head. I don't know.
Like, how many nights? How many sleeps?
And he shakes his head. I don't know.
That's okay. A lot of times after a bad thing happens, we can forget. It's normal.
My medicine is 90.
90. Instantly, you look at his neck and you look at his... There's a couple things that really stand out. First of all is you see a green tattoo on the back of his neck. It's 3 squares and it looks like a stylized ram head. Second, you see... looks like seams, like scars crisscrossing his body in bizarre interlocking patterns.
Where? On his neck?
All over his body. You start tracing some of these like crisscrossing scars. They're almost like seams. And they are all over, and they're almost like in a bizarre interlocking pattern throughout his entire... Like you lift up his shirt and you see like this crisscrossing pattern throughout his entire body.
What do the scars look like? Do they look like he was cut?
They look like seams. They seem like scars. S-E-A-M. Seem like scars.
Kind of like, do they look like healed, like surgery cuts or something like
Yeah.
that?
Sutures.
Yeah, like not even sutures. It looks very clean. It looks like just lines, like little light lines going across.
Oh, so there's not even marks of it being closed. It literally looks like
It's like a
two
heel.
pieces joined together.
Yeah. So
You're
like,
just seeing the line
they look
where
like
they join
seams.
together.
Yeah, like if you folded
Yeah.
2 pieces of paper and it's like if you fold a piece of paper and then you fold it again, it's that little seam between. You
Yeah.
know? It's like that, and it's just this little seams, white seams throughout his entire, what looks like his entire body.
And you said the tattoo was 3 ram's heads?
No, it's 3 squares.
3 squares.
And
Sorry,
what looks like it's a green tattoo on the back of his neck of 3 squares,
Uh-huh.
and what looks like a stylized ram head.
Okay.
What is your archaeology?
I
Reagan?
don't think I have any. Let me see.
Reagan would, though. I would think.
40.
40. You would be smart enough to be like, this is weird, and you point it to her. And it looks like similar to Aztec language. Nahuatl. Nahuatl? and it's the character for boy. You do notice beneath the tattoo what looks like a tiny bump, a raise in the skin.
I'm gonna rub my finger over it.
You definitely
Maybe-
feel it.
Right, and press down a little bit and ask, does this hurt? Does this feel weird?
He just shakes his head.
Did you have
think
this
of-
before?
I don't know. What?
I take a flashlight and try to shine it through the skin to see if there's something below the skin, if it casts a shadow or anything like that.
There's something there.
But and I don't have any nothing about this is ringing any bells for me or anything, right? I haven't
No.
heard of anything like this. Okay.
I have photography added as a skill.
Mm-hmm.
Can I take pictures?
You can, but it'd not be probably a good idea.
Oh,
Your
probably now that.
yeah, your idea. You're here to not necessarily investigate, but to
Oh, we gotta pick him up and take him somewhere, right?
or whatever you need to do to make this go away.
So you're telling me they didn't give us any flashy things?
Nope. There's no such thing as flashy things. This is not the Men in Black. That is fiction.
So we're supposed to determine whether an unnatural threat is in the area, remove the unnatural threat, make the outcome appear mundane.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, can I whisper to the agent, like, and we're for sure that this is Brandon, like for sure.
That's funnily enough, that's where he was headed next. He wants to ask him. He's still leaning down, very gently talking to him. Brandon, is there anything you remember about the time you were gone, or is it just from before?
I just remember these strangers. These odd men that spoke without any voices. They were tall. Very tall. Taller than any of you.
Yeah,
I
it's okay.
I remember blue caves. And this gray paste they'd make me eat.
Do you remember the paste? What did it smell like or taste like?
Like salty earth.
So basically, like, to explain to you, Aaron, what he's like, the subtext, he's trying to, knowing that sense is directly, or smell is kind of directly tied to memory, he's trying to make him like focus on that and seeing if anything jogs loose. You said it tasted salty.
Yeah, it tastes salty. And you see him like I remember I wasn't alone. There were two others with me.
Were they tall men?
No. Children like me. Kids like me. Evie and Thomas. Evie and Thomas. And you see him start to rock ever so slightly.
Oh boy. Okay. Brandon, can I ask you, the ranger let me know that it's hard for you to take a bath. Can you tell me why?
Bath hurt.
It hurts?
Too hot.
So, and he asked for, he's like, is it okay if I put my hand on you, Brandon?
He looks to you.
Okay, is this too warm? Okay. He kind of looks around and see if there's basically anything that he can warm up or either warm his hands up with. He wants to see.
You are.
He basically wants to test the threshold in like the kindest way possible.
I don't think there's anything that you have on your person. You have a lighter.
I could toss him. I might have like some of those disposable hand warmers, like in my bug out bag. You know, like the kind that you just rub and they start.
Yeah, the like little shaky chemical hand warmers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so he'll take one of those and break it and like shake it, and he puts his hands on it, and then he holds his hand out, not like the heater itself, but his own hand. He's like, okay, I want you to touch my hand, and if it hurts, I want you to take it away right away, okay?
Like.
He's literally just like holding his hand out, like he's letting the kid control whether his hand stays in contact with his hand.
Within a second, it kicks back and the door slams behind you.
Okay.
And he quivers in the corner.
It's okay. I know, that wasn't fun, but I just need to know what's too hot for you so we don't accidentally hurt you.
And you just see him just quiver in fear, and you have that hand out with it, and he wants you. He is like, clearly, get the fuck away from me. Do not touch me. He is.
Yeah.
It is way
he
too
tosses hot. He tosses the hand warmer away because it's okay. We know that's too warm now.
Aaron, did the door slamming, was that like, you know, overtly supernatural? Because it feels like it was. You know what I mean? Like, would that have been like a what the fuck just happened kind of moment
And
for
that's
us?
where I'm going to get at. Okay, guys. What is... I want you all... Oh, God, how can I do this? Because there's going to be a certain percentage of you guys that would be like, it was just a coincidence, or it could be anything. You know what I mean? The weather, whatever.
They already said it was the weather.
Whether you believe it or not.
Doors all the time.
I would say whether you believe it or not. If you believe it, you're in deep shit. Does that make sense?
I mean, I would definitely
believe that it was
about
weather.
to make the comment that it's like that didn't seem like a draft.
Yeah. Well, to believe it, here I'm just gonna try to hear an example here. Is there's a chance here that what is your unnatural?
I don't think I have an unnatural.
Mine's
Yeah, I don't either.
0.
Okay.
Well, it's
I have
0%, but I've got 10.
Yeah,
a
you got 10
cult or
because.
something. Hold on.
No, it's fine. I'm trying to figure
Yeah,
out.
I have a cult, but not unnatural.
Here's what we're gonna
Yeah,
do.
I have 0 on.
And
Here's
actually,
what-
I would posit, Aaron, for me with my experience, would that have gone into unnatural instead of a cult?
Oh, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna actually do an intelligence. This is what it is. It's gonna be intelligence and whether you can put 2 and 2 together real quick. That this is
Cause and effect.
cause
yeah.
and effect. So I want everyone to roll the intelligence. And whether you fail it or not determines what happens next. Oh my god, you all failed the
with
intelligence.
a 75%.
Wow.
Still failed.
I didn't fail.
Oh,
I didn't.
I succeeded.
yeah.
Like my roll isn't coming through for some reason.
Oh, what
Yeah,
did
yours
what'd you
isn't
roll?
coming through.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, what did you roll?
Nothing is happening. I'm gonna have to open it again, I think, because it.
Okay.
Oh wait, here we go. Hold on. There we go.
So 2 successes, 2 failures.
Okay. Well, that makes sense.
Which actually kind of makes sense because we've both had prior experiences, right?
Everyone has had some sort of prior
Everybody
experience.
has, yeah.
But it
Oh, yeah,
makes
that's
sense
true because that's how you got.
that the pathologist and the FBI agent that is directly next to this person that like is inspected and really looked at this as a person is putting 2 and 2 together. I need you to both roll a sanity check.
I knew that was coming.
All right. So is that sanity points?
That is a sanity roll, and your sanity points is your total number. You have to.
No, but I meant like, how do you roll a
How do you
sanity
do a
roll?
sanity roll? Yeah.
Do I just click the green button
you
for
click sanity points. Yes.
Okay.
Oh, so as your sanity points change, what you have to roll to succeed changes.
Sieges. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Yep.
okay. I like that's interesting.
Retro.
Well, Brandon made a success, so that's great. Let me
Agent Smith succeeded. Dr. Kamarov has a
Yeah.
panic attack.
I think
I'd
it's
probably be
more
like
of
any other-
God, what's the line from Aliens? God, why can't I remember Bill Pullman's line from Aliens when he starts to have
man.
his his freak out?
Out.
can't believe it cut out what it was supposed to be like. All right. 1 success. The success, you take 1 sanity point.
It's killing me that I can't remember that now. Brandon.
The failure, Greg.
Also, it's Bill Paxton because I always do that.
Greg.
Pullman Paxton, you know.
Greg, I want you to roll 1d4.
Where can I just do
I think you
that?
could type it in chat /
Or,
roll.
or in the
here it is,
bottom,
here it
on
is.
the top
I
left
got
corner,
it.
there's a dice.
I got it.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's it, man.
Oh,
Game
no.
over. Game
Oh,
over.
no.
You take 4 points of sanity. Max sanity as you guys determine that it is the child doing these things, opening and slamming doors, and it kind of makes sense. Like they were saying, like, you know, something's weird going on with this child.
So since he maintained he's just like laser focused in on this kid. And he's just like, it's okay, Brandon. It's okay. Nobody's gonna hurt you. I just wanted to make sure we weren't gonna hurt you.
Just don't bring anything hot to me, and Keep the strangers
no
away
more.
from me.
Okay. It's okay. No more hot thing. Okay? I promise. And as he's doing this, he's kind of also looking around and seeing if he's basically trying to gauge how much level of stress is affecting the environment. Like, now that he knows that it's apparently
Yeah, you notice that
a
the door,
trigger.
yeah, the door slamming, things like that, the heat, it seems like it's all out of reaction to something that could be harming him.
Mm-hmm. It's reactionary. Okay. Yeah, that's kind of what he's looking for. So he is just kind of, like I said, just focused on calming him down. He's saying, you know, just kind of talking to him, and he just says, what's your favorite show, Brandon? Do you like a TV show or anything?
What year was he gone?
I think 1980 was when he disappeared.
He-Man?
Yeah, you like He-Man. I like He-Man too. Actually, now that I think about it, if it's 2015 and my character's in his late 30s, right?
Yeah.
So this kid is like
His age. Would be
his age. Yeah, maybe slightly younger than he would have been.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So yeah, he's like, because he knows he just really set this kid off. He's just kind of like chatting with him about He-Man and stuff that he remembers from his own childhood before he tries any sort of continued interrogation of the kid.
You start seeing outside the storm is starting to kick up a little bit. There's some intensity, and you hear a tink, 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 tink. It's starting to rain.
Was there any change on him physically when that outburst sort of happened?
No.
No. Okay.
You didn't notice anything. You didn't. You have not put two and two together. See, I like the idea that your intelligence saved your asses from doing any sanity rolls. But then you have no clue.
Yeah. Yeah, the awareness is what makes you have to confront the supernatural, so to speak. So I want to... I mean, the answer's probably pretty obvious, but I want to basically use my skills as a psychotherapist to try to, like, get an idea of a diagnosis, although he probably has a pretty good idea that it's PTSD or something along those lines.
Yeah, it's about right. PTSD, memory loss, it's not uncommon, but the only thing that's uncommon is the child is 6 years old and was lost in 1980.
Yeah. Okay, Brandon. Can you tell me the last thing you remember before you left?
Hey, Aaron, while he's doing this, can I go back to that file and see if the names that he gave me of other kids are in that file?
Yeah, you don't see any of the kids' names there, but you could do an email, do a Google check.
Oh, right. I've got smartphones.
You got
yeah,
smartphones
cool.
and stuff. So I'll let you do that, and I'll get back to you.
Cool.
Can I help with that? Is that a thing that we can do in this world? I'm very good at researching.
Yeah, you can if you'd like.
Fuck.
So, what is it you want to ask him, Brandon?
So I'm asking him the last thing that he remembers before he disappeared.
I remember.
Or he'll
I-
phrase it as,
Yeah.
what's the last thing you remember before you ended up with the tall man in the strange place?
I remember being with my parents out in the woods, camping, vacation.
Mm-hmm. And you were with your parents right before?
Yeah.
Yeah. Brandon, was it kind of stormy out like it is now, like it is today?
It rained the night before.
And is there anything else you remember other than the things they had you eat? Did they say anything to you?
Asadagawa.
Asadagawa. Okay.
Anything? Do I? Does that sound like anything to me? Oh,
You gain 1 extra point in unnatural.
Who does?
Whoever's there listening. You also hear before this, I'll give you a little bit more. He starts
So what does gaining a point in unnatural mean?
You gain 1 point in unnatural.
Just at like 1% instead of 0%.
Oh, gotcha.
I mean, do we gain that? You know, we're like looking.
Like we're all in
Googling.
the room, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I was gonna say
that's
I'm
what I'm
staring.
trying to-
I'm probably staring out the window at the weather.
Yeah. You all will gain 1 point on unnatural.
Okay.
We'll
Does
grant an
it-
agent 1
all right.
point.
I didn't mean to click it.
Yeah, in
Didn't say
unnatural.
failure. What does that mean?
But here's the deal. I need you all to make a sanity check.
Thank God I succeeded something tonight. Uh-oh, Reagan fumbled.
Just waiting for Greg. But we'll also say that he starts describing like these like gold like shields and like weird like things around the area. Like it sounds like he's discussing like ancient artifacts, or he talks about like it looks like a phone but it's different, or he's describing his area where he was. He describes these weird creatures formed of once living human beings warped into bizarre shapes, and they kept animated by unknown means. Like, I can't explain the stuff. Like, it's like a horror gore fest of like weird things he's seeing, and he is not doing well himself. Reagan, you need to roll a d4. Oh, you take 4 points of sanity.
Everybody's rolling back.
Everyone else
No.
takes 1 point of sanity.
Okay.
as he's describing all these weird things and how he is fed this gray paste and the nonsense word of Asadagua. Tachquagua.
So, Aaron, between... I do have some skill in anthropology, so I know things about other cultures, but not like ancient cultures necessarily. It's from him basically recruiting people in other cultures to be assets. So, like, do I recognize this as being any language or any of these images from any culture?
Yeah, no. And at this point, you notice he is no longer talking. He is in a fugue state. He is not.
Yeah.
Hey, Aaron, my sanity just went under my breaking point.
So soon.
Oh no.
With 1 point, you were 1 point away.
Well, I took a lot of. He took
took
sanity
4
away from me at the
before.
beginning of the
Yeah.
game, and then I took sanity damage several times already. So
Oh no.
and I took sanity damage in, you know what I mean, in the game that I played. So you know what I mean. He's had a lot of sanity damage.
So, Aaron, I have a master's degree in behavioral psychology. And I see that I have one patient who's entered a fugue state, and another patient who seems like they're also about to break. Is there anything I can do in this moment? Like,
Very few things, but you could roll. Give me a minute. Let me figure out this thing with the sanity, okay?
yeah.
Should we break for a couple of minutes?
We can definitely break. Would probably be a good idea anyways. Yeah, we can break. So we're going to go ahead and take 10 minutes. So as Brandon's character is slowly losing his mind due to what just happened to him several times.
Hey, my character's
You mean
cool
my
as a
character, right?
cucumber. Yeah, it's Greg's character who's losing his mind.
Yeah.
Yep. He's. Yeah, so we're gonna break, and maybe he do. Maybe he will do.
Maybe he break too.
Maybe he break. I don't know.
Yeah, an agent who loses 5 or more points of sanity in a single roll suffers temporary insanity. You guys have not done that yet.
Yeah, but I thought when you were explaining it yesterday, there was something with the sanity and the breaking point.
Mm-hmm.
It
I
does
just
also
don't-
say if the cost of failing a sanity test is 1d6 or less, the cost of success is usually 0.
Yeah,
I
but
thought
this
that's
stuff
gonna
is
make
telling
a
me one
difference.
thing or another.
I'm
you
just saying, so
gain-
ones that he succeeded
Okay,
and would have
so-
taken 1.
Anybody who has reached the breaking point gains a disorder. When suffering from a disorder, the mind maladapts to mental trauma with long-term neuroses. Is negative in the long term, but some are worse than others.
Okay, well we can figure that out on the break then, right?
Yeah, I think for you, I think what'll happen is you become a little the bump on the back of his neck and all this weird stuff has made you feel unclean, and you feel a little OCD when it comes to cleanliness.
Okay.
I think that fits well.
He feels exposed.
Yeah, there's a bunch of sample disorders from Unnatural, but then I guess it leaves the rest of it up to the GM.
Yeah, I think you have some sort of like
OCD.
OCD or a convert. Yeah, like so like some sort of OCD or something.
Compulsion.
A compulsion.
All right, cool. Well, then I would say Brandon's character sees my guy kind of make like a, Kamarov makes a weird face and starts kind of wringing his hand, and then immediately leaves the room to go wash his hands. I mean, you don't know why he's leaving the room, but that's
Yeah. So are we on break?
Yeah, we're gonna go on break here.
Break.
We will be back.
Oh, and that Brandon or Greg, apparently that resets your current breaking point to your current sanity minus your power again.
we are back to keep playing this game of creepiness. Where we left off.
Cool creep.
Our good old Doc has created a disorder, basically. He's gained a little bit of OCD.
By the way, Aaron, we were looking at that while you were gone, and it's potential. This is obviously you thing, but it's apparently a mechanic that anytime a certain traumatic things happen, we might trauma bond as a team, or like form new bonds as team members.
Sure.
So
Yeah, and
I was just bringing that up.
It listed gaining a
disorder as one of them.
disorder as
Yeah.
one of them, yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, tell him about the drugs.
Oh yeah. We found out in reading the rule book that benzos help you stay sane in this world, which of course, I mean,
They decrease your skill checks, but they help you with the sanity.
That's hilarious.
yeah, well, I said the same thing. I was like, that's fucking hilarious.
So, you have a child that is now in a catatonic state. You have a coworker that's starting to get itchy.
Oh, I'm gone. Like, I left the room.
Yeah, he's out. He's basically just gonna do the
Do you have success in psychotherapy?
I do. I have hey, stop it.
You tell the
Sorry, I'm
Creature.
currently rolling animal handling. Stop it, little shit.
It's
All right.
like that the Michael Jordan clip where he's like, "Stop it." Do you know what I mean? What is that? What is that even from?
It's he did an anti-drug commercial in the 80s. I cannot remember.
What could be the more recent thing? It's Bernie Sanders. You're a United States Senator. Act like it. Sit down. You're a United States Senator.
But yeah, I have a 50 in psychotherapy.
Okay, I need you to roll a sanity. Roll that psychotherapy to see if you can settle down McGill.
Oh yeah, and he's not dealing. Oh yeah, the kid. Yes, he's dealing with the kid. And to make it clear, he's not trying to like converse with him again or like anything. He's just literally trying to like get him to be okay and like react, and then he's leaving this kid the fuck alone for a while.
Yeah, go ahead and do the psychotherapy.
Okay.
It does say using psychotherapy to aid someone suffering from exposure to unnatural forces might cause the therapist's sanity.
And I failed anyway.
Failure. This kid starts going into a fugue state and just starts rocking back and forth in the bed and is unresponsive.
He's gonna talk to the ranger. The female ranger.
Let me check something first. What you did to the kid was not good for the kid. The kid
Oh, great. Cool.
has to roll.
I'm here for it.
Wow. The kid actually made it. Oh, wow. The kid actually made sanity. Still lost a point of sanity. There's no way this kid didn't lose 1 point of sanity over this. For forcing him to remember.
I did just make him relive a traumatic memory. So.
Yeah. You made him remember corpses and like weird items in a blue cave and the gray paste and all this stuff.
That's what I do.
Hey, buddy, remember that gray paste? Good
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, hey, this is what happens when you send an interrogator to play child psychologist.
Great pace, back in Yosemite. Story of my life.
Back in Yosemite. Okay, do you guys start heading back downstairs? Leaving the kid alone, or?
Yeah, I'm gonna leave the kid alone, but I'm going to talk to the female agent who seemed a little more concerned about him, and I want to ask her like if there's basically like a smaller room, or he basically wants like to see if there's a way for this kid to be somewhere that's a little more controlled and not as but he's framing it to the woman more as less stimulus.
She after looking in the room, that's probably the best place he's gonna be.
Okay.
Upstairs, away from everybody, in that storage area with an extra bed up there. That's probably the best place he's gonna be.
So, once she tells him that, he'll kind of say to her, "Oh, look, I don't mean to put this on you, but it seems like he's starting to remember some things, which, I mean, you probably understand isn't great after being gone for as long as he was, and well, he's having a hard time, so if you could, keep an eye out, just make sure he doesn't hurt himself or anything until we can, get him out of here."
She shakes her head. She goes, she barricade, like she puts on these like they already had them, like like these like velvet like rope, or he just had like ropes that like blocked off the stairs. She had those up already to make sure that no one could come in.
Mm-hmm. And this would be you call, but do you think he would notice anything about his other agent leaving the room? Basically, I'm trying to gauge whether he would notice anything to think to check on him.
No, she's just going to gate it up because there's only like 2 rangers right now here.
I'm sorry, I meant Greg's character. Did I notice anything when he left the room, like before he left the room, that would have given me pause or concern to check on him after I had this stuff handled?
Well, I don't think he was hiding anything, but you were so focused on the child.
That's why I'm saying. Like,
yeah,
I think this is more of a you call.
You would not have noticed. You were paying too much attention, trying to psychoanalyze this kid and then trying to cool him down and failing.
Yeah.
I think other people might have noticed though, because he didn't say anything. He just started like kind of wringing his hands, and then he left. It would have been a little awkward.
Yeah.
For not for Brandon's character, who was like deep in the interrogation, but I think for.
You start heading down the stairs and you go right past the radio room and the main ranger area station. You go right to the bathroom and start washing your hands.
Mm-hmm. Compulsively just start washing your hands. And you walk by the main ranger, sits there and looks kind of concerned. Gets up and starts walking up, like going and like, "Are you okay?" He doesn't answer. He just keeps washing his hands. And he's kind of, I would say he's humming to himself. He's like,
I mean, you're not catatonic.
And he's like,
you're not catatonic or anything. But
no, he's not. Catatonic means you're not saying anything. Catatonic means you're not moving and not doing anything.
Okay, he then starts going.
Because we read the rules, and the rules basically say that he's essentially having an episode until the main agent can get him back to some sort of reality. Which I think makes sense for a break like this.
Like, a break like this, and it doesn't take it takes about 10 minutes. But while this is happening, you're still breaking in the bathroom. It's enough for the ranger who's sitting down and who's like the main guy. Someone's walking. He goes, "Everything okay?" And he doesn't hear a response from you. So then he starts going over to the staircase. is everything okay? And as he's doing that, you see two backpackers come walking into the door. There's two backpackers. You hear a ting ching. You guys may not hear it, but you guys won't see it, but you hear it. So you hear ching ching as the front door opens.
Did I hear the ranger call up the stairs to us?
Yes.
He kind of calls down, not too loud because the what just happened with the kid, but he kind of like calls down as softly as he can. Is everything's okay, Ranger? Give me a second. Just kind of like, you know, that he's coming down the stairs.
And then he starts getting occupied by the couple of backpackers that have come walking in. And you start noticing, Chris, you're looking outside through at the patio,
I'd be like
out
up
the
on the
window,
patio, yeah.
looking out, and it is starting to downpour pretty heavily, and the wind is really picking up. And you see quite a number of other backpackers are either running to their cars, or you've heard, you hear the ching ching. The people are coming into the building.
Place is getting pretty crowded.
And you, does anybody go down the stairs besides?
Oh yeah, I would say I'm walking
Okay,
down
you
the
close
stairs
the
with the
door.
ranger.
Do you guys follow the other two? You start heading down, and you hear these two backpackers, and they're like, "We saw something down in the trails," and you hear the conversation. He goes, "What are you talking about? You saw something, like this really tall creature or tall man in the distance in the trees." I just thought I'd let you know. It seemed really weird. It's like a man in the shadows.
Does it sound like the same, from what I hear, does it sound like the same description the kid gave me?
These tall creatures. Yeah, you're kind of putting two and two together.
He's gonna walk up and he's not going to identify himself as an agent just yet, but he just sort of walks up next to the ranger and he's like, "Oh, where did you see this?"
Just up the trail a little bit of ways, not far.
He wants to, like, if this were D&D, he'd be insight checking them. He's like,
You can use there's a human intelligence.
yeah, that's
So it's human intelligence. I believe you have it.
I do. I am very good at it.
Yeah, they're completely honest. I mean, like, it's kind of weird. They just kind of they're kind of weirded out by it, but they know the weather. They could have just,
But like they seem, I guess more
They
was
can
trying to get like
shake.
they seem sane. They seem
They
like nothing's.
They just seem kind of shook, and it could be because of the storm. Maybe they're seeing something, but they're just like, saw this figure in the distance. It wasn't. It's like it was almost if they were following us. It felt weird.
Do you remember when you first saw him?
It was on our way back to the station here. Just saw the once.
Can I start researching this? Like, trying to understand these types of figures appearing anywhere else?
You can definitely try, especially with the Aztec thing. It's difficult. If you want me, it's like the word may sound disturbingly like. What was your unnatural? What's your unnatural number? I couldn't hear you.
Oh, sorry, 11.
11. Anybody have a higher number?
I think we all have one.
Yeah.
I think we're all occult, not unnatural.
You swear it sounds like TSATHOGGUA.
You gotta do that again. I was not fast enough.
TSATHOGGUA. It sounds disturbingly like that. And you could definitely do a Google search. Like, and I mean, really, do a Google search, Reagan. See if it takes you down a rabbit hole. This is a great thing about this game. Like, this allows this. They did this in the game on Friday. They Google search stuff and determined certain things in real time. Stuff I didn't expect them to actually do in the game.
What was that we Googled? I don't remember that.
You guys were discussing like the different the robes and all that stuff.
Yeah, Glenn had done. I didn't realize he had Googled stuff.
Yeah, Glenn is Googling stuff actively as we were doing investigation, like his character would do.
I didn't realize that that's what I thought he was looking at something you had given him. That's awesome that he was Googling it. That's really cool.
But you're not, I'll just say this. Whether or not this is actually that, you're not sure. It sounded disturbingly like it.
That's what the child was saying.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Disturbingly like it. Tathagua. Asadagua. Gawa. Asadagawa. As they are talking, they're like, like they're talking about this strange man. They kind of like settle down and sit in the common room here to like chill out. To get out of the rain, and it seems to be picking up out there. The larger ranger goes, "This storm is really starting to pick up," and you hear radios in the back and going just. He goes, "Excuse me," and he walks away. You go to the radio. What do you guys do?
I'm still in the bathroom.
I would say after 5 minutes, you finally collect yourself.
Oh, so we're not doing the thing where he has to...
No, I'm going to say it doesn't. It doesn't... You don't break completely. You need to... You sooner or later, you take a breath and you start to regain something back here.
Oh, okay. Because we were kind of looking forward to role-playing that.
Oh, you want to? We can. So...
Yeah,
no.
I think we were right, weren't we? I feel like that was...
We
like
can.
We were excited about that.
I'm sorry. I was making assumptions because we can if you want.
You were away, and we were like, yeah.
So, you've noticed then agent, you notice that your pathologist is not around in this.
He's gonna he doesn't know he's in the bathroom, so he's gonna kind of poke his head where he just saw the ranger walk. He's gonna kind of like do a little light knock and kind of like, as surreptitiously as possible, ask him a question.
Yeah, you can ask him where is your agent? Have you seen him?
Yeah, just like, hey, have you seen my my other agent, my counterpart?
He looks over as he's on the phone, and he looks over and he points to the bathroom.
So it's kind of sounding same thing. He's doing the like, he doesn't like just straight up walk in the bathroom. He kind of like pokes his head in, and I'm assuming he sees him standing there washing his hands.
Yeah, Kamarov is in there, and he's like, he's washing his like really hard, but the look on his face is kind of doesn't match his posture, right? His posture, he looks like he's kind of panicky, but the look on his face is kind of like serene, and he's kind of humming to himself. He's like,
Do I know his first name?
Does he?
Yeah, would be Dmitri. You would know it.
Hey, Dmitri. You walked out pretty quick. Is everything okay?
I would say he just keeps keeps humming, keeps washing. He doesn't respond.
He's gonna like walk up beside like the basically the sink next to his, and he kind of like leans with his back up against it, looking at him. Kind of like putting, not completely like in between, but kind of like in his line of sight between the mirror and him, kind of like hey, let's look over here.
He's looking in the mirror, but he's kind of like he's not really seeing. You know what I mean? You can tell he's like he's somewhere else.
Okay. You can do some sort of therapy check, like what you did before, a psychotherapy, to see if you can break him of this.
Yeah, at this point he's just trying to see if he can get his attention. He's just he sees him washing his hands, and he so he kind of like puts himself in between, trying to like give like a physical like, hey, I'm right here, and then he just says, what are you humming there, Dmitri?
Song. It's a song.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just a song.
Just a song. Yeah. Yeah. I get it. Helps me focus sometimes. You feeling okay?
You looking at his hands, they are going raw from him washing.
So it kind of like he's gonna like real gently, he kind of like puts his hand out on his shoulder, and he goes, Dmitri, your hands are clean. See?
Okay, so I would say when you put your hand on his shoulder, he kind of jerks out of it and looks at you and focuses on you for the first time, like he's seeing you now.
Hey, buddy, your hands are clean.
He looks down at his hands, kind of flexes them. Obviously, a little bit of discomfort there, and he takes a deep shaky breath.
He looks at him for a second while he's doing that, and he just looks at him and goes, "No, it's all right, man. I get it. That we don't know where the kid's been, makes sense." He's trying to make it as it's already traumatic, but he's trying to do the like, no, it's
Right.
like it's you had a crazy moment, but it's a rational crazy. Like we don't fucking know where this kid's been. Like,
Yeah, no, it's fine. Thanks. I'm good. Good.
so and now like just for you to know, Aaron, he's trying to redirect. He's like, so the kid, the surgical wounds. Have you ever seen anything like that?
No. No, I've never seen anything like that.
That is. I mean,
If it's scarring, it's so precise. It doesn't make any sense.
right? I mean, like I've never seen anything like that outside of laser surgery. He's trying to like ground it more in reality, kind
Right,
of.
yeah. He's like, okay, yeah, maybe that makes sense.
Yeah, like that's
That could
so
that
like
could be-
it wasn't just me, right? Like that's not a scalpel scar, right? Like nobody cut this kid. Huh.
Okay.
All right. Well,
While that's going on, Chris and Reagan, what are you doing? Have you headed back downstairs? You're seeing the storm is starting to pick up quite a bit. Trees are starting to roll. You're hearing cracks as lightning is hitting the ground.
I'd definitely be asking the hikers who said they saw the tall man to like. I'd be pulling out my map of the trails and just be like, "Hey, can you like where do you think you were on the trail when you saw that?"
And they point out to like they didn't know exactly. It was just on the main trail. It wasn't too far. It was just outside of the
Ranger station.
the Devil's. So if you look at the map,
Oh, the Devil's Chair.
the Devil's Chair, a little bit out from the Devil's Chair.
So like between the Devil's Chair and the Trailhead Station.
Yeah. But not too far away. I mean, like 10 minutes. The storm is picking up. Things are getting a little crazy out here. You see a couple. You now have some backpackers. You have the two rangers. One has come down. Has gone into the kitchen to get the backpackers maybe something to warm them up, some tea. And the other guy is on the radio still trying to figure out what you're going to do next. Because it seems to be picking up. The storm's picking up.
Would I, with my no knowledge of meteorology, be picking up on the fact that the storm is picking up?
Yeah, you would have been noticing at this point.
Well, I've been giving you guys random updates whether you want to or not. I'm just making comments on it along the way.
So he kind of walks out of the bathroom after he knows what's going on, and he do I walk out while Chris's character is like having them mark the map, or
Yeah, sure. Why
what
not?
like timeline?
Yeah, that's
okay.
about right.
So seeing that, he'll kind of walk over and once he walks away from the two hikers, he'll just look at him and say, "Did you get a location?"
I mean, about 10 minutes out from what I can tell, towards where the kid was found down by the Devil's Chair.
Well, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not was never one of you wilderness types, even when I was in the service. So, what do you think our odds are out in this storm? We got 10 minutes.
I mean, does it look like just a downpour right now? Nothing like completely dangerous, just really bad weather? Or...
It's pretty bad weather. Wind is picking up. You got to assume that, this is not great. The wind has started to pick up quite a bit.
So with my survival and weather experience, would I think that we're going to have to wait it out, or...
It's either wait it out, or if you're going to leave, now is the time. Does that make sense?
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll be like, yeah, if we're going to go, we need to go now. I mean...
And no, what I mean is, if your plan is to leave this place, now is the time.
Oh, to leave like the park
To
completely.
leave the park with the way this storm is kicking up. Because if you stay, you're stuck. For who knows how long. You don't know what's going on with this storm.
Okay, so I'll relay that information. Be like, well, I mean, part of our job here is to make sure nobody else gets wind that this is less than normal. So I don't think leaving's the right approach. We need to make sure these people just think this is a storm and nothing else.
Yeah. So, because basically his idea is he wanted to go, if it was 10 minutes away, to go like see if they could see anything in that spot that would either.
I mean, you could with the intent that you're not planning to leave. You could walk out.
Yes, like not
Yeah,
leave
if we-
the
yeah. If we think we could walk 10 minutes up the trail and take a look and then
Oh yeah, he's not gonna leave.
yeah.
He smells a conspiracy now.
Okay. So which way
he's
do you,
interested.
who wants to go out in the wilderness?
I will, but I'm also going to try to use my bureaucracy skills to talk to them and see if they have any four-wheelers or anything like that that we can take to kind of expedite the process here.
There is a couple of four-wheelers out there.
Yeah, I'll be like, hey, you guys look like you're going to be pretty caught up with the radios and
Hey,
all
I
these
have
hikers
bureaucracy
here.
skill too.
Oh, there you go.
No,
Think
So,
about
you
that.
guys look like you're
going
to be pretty caught up.
They'll hand you a couple keys as long as you like get back safely. They hand
Yeah,
you.
no, we'll bring them back. I've never returned equipment broken.
Ever.
Do you guys want to start heading out?
I've definitely
yes.
never acquired equipment from another unit and returned it to them broken.
So what do you want to say is Brandon and Agent Smith and
Mr.
Harris.
Mr. Harris.
Mr. Harris start heading out, and you guys are welcome to stay put. Like, this does not, in D&D terms, separating is not bad.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I do want to, like, share what I've been researching in case it's helpful.
Then
because...
please share.
So, okay. So this, you know, you can take it for whatever it's worth. But the child was saying something that sounded like, Satagua. And there is sort of an Aztec earth god it is similar. He's represented by a frog or a toad. It's one of the older gods. And this similar kind of toad-like god lives in caves, and he has servants that work for him that can kind of take any form, which could also include very tall, you know, beings. And just so you know that those beings are very dangerous. So, you know, they can take any shape, but they will try to trample and bite and crush you. And in some cases are also very acidic and will dissolve your skin if you touch them. So if you do happen to run into any...
Keep our distance.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love this fucking game. I didn't have to do shit. You did the research.
I reach into my bug out bag, pull out like a poncho that's like covering me just after she mentions the acidic stuff. I mean, the rain, whatever, but you know, like I pull out like the hood, long poncho all over the place.
I will say it's very unlikely that you'll run into the god. He doesn't really like to leave his cave. So just, just know that. But yeah, it sounds like these children and people are being taken to his caves.
So, you and Agent Smith and Agent Harris start heading on a four-wheeler out into the woods.
Do you
Downpour.
want to drive? You seem a pretty
Wind.
good driver.
Yeah.
Does drive just cover any vehicles?
Any
it's
land vehicle.
Land vehicles, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like land vehicles. Would
I'll
be the
allow
way
it
to...
this time because for
Okay.
so you guys start
Plus,
heading out.
plus, I'm pretty alert, so I can keep an eye out around while you're focusing on the road.
You start heading out into the woods, and you start traveling. While this is going on, what are you and Reagan? You and Dr. Karamov, is what are you guys doing?
Well, I would share with him the same thing that I told the guys going out. And so, it's going to be pretty tough for them, I think, if they do encounter them to handle it. So I don't know. Can you, like, call for backup, or I don't know how that all works here.
Based on the weather, I don't think anybody's getting in here. I think we're on our own.
Okay. How are you doing? You okay?
He's like kind of unconsciously wrings his hands and he says, I'm okay. I'm okay.
I have a really great support
feel like-
group if you feel like you need people to talk to, like peer counseling kind of a situation.
I feel like I should have went with them. I mean, I'm mad I didn't go with them.
Well, I think it's okay. I mean, we can do what we can here, and maybe do some more research. And I don't know. Do you feel like we got everything from the child? Is somebody coming to like get him, or are we supposed to be doing?
Well, you know
that or...
that the parents are already made aware and they were heading here, so you don't know how long you're going to be, and you don't know with the storm. Maybe they are going to get delayed due to the storm. As you guys are discussing that, Harris, you're sitting on the back of this four-wheeler. Water is just pummeling you in the back. Like it's just hitting you as your guys are driving down this path. It's getting harder and harder to see, and Agent Smith, you're focused more on the road because it's getting a little slick out here, and you want to make sure you're following the path. And Agent Harris, you start looking around. About 5 minutes in, traveling down, a little bit less than 5 minutes, you see something not too far away. What do you do?
I'll point it out to him. I'll kind of tap him on the shoulder.
Okay. Do you stop?
He definitely slows down.
Yeah. I'll give him the sign to stop, and
you stop, and you look out in the distance, and you see this tall. You thought maybe it was a tree, but then you swore it moved. Not with the wind, but unnaturally. Like, not with the breeze, not with the wind. It just moved and then disappeared.
As soon as he sees movement, he's got his little tactical flashlight out, and he's pointing it that direction. And I think it's only good out to like 50 meters, so I don't know how
Yeah.
much it helps. But
So
that's
you go and do that.
his instinct.
There's nothing there. And then suddenly you are looking out and you just hear the rain and the crash, lightning, and the loud thundering sound. And you know, in a storm, if you've ever been out in the woods when a storm hits, it is absolutely terrifying. It's so much louder.
Yeah.
And crash, and you blink for a second out of fear, and then suddenly you see the large figure closer and then disappear again.
All right. The tactical flashlight has been joined by his sidearm.
Oh yeah.
Do you get off the four-wheeler?
Oh no, not yet. No, fuck no. He's
You suddenly see from a tree a smaller figure, maybe 20 feet away, slowly walk out. It looks
Identify yourself.
It looks like a small child. And we're back over to Reagan and Greg.
What the fuck, Aaron?
Yeah.
Why?
We don't really have.
You
should
suddenly are. You guys are sitting there, kind of like talking to yourselves, trying to do some research. And you suddenly hear a scream.
Oh boy.
From somebody down here, or
In
the kid upstairs?
In the room. No, downstairs. It looks from the area where the
all the backpackers.
the back, not just the back, no, where the Rangers are, where the bathroom and the
Oh.
Rangers are. What do you guys
well,
do?
I book it.
Go
What?
to there.
And my pistol is out.
You book it, and you go over to you see this Ranger just in complete and utter shock. Who walks over to the bathroom first?
Not it.
I go. Yeah,
You
and
go?
my pistol's out. Yep.
Oh, okay. You go over and you see one of the backpackers stabbed in the neck, bleeding out, in the bathroom, who's sitting on the toilet, quietly. And you
Okay.
go,
First aid right away. Like I immediately go to try to stop the bleeding.
I'm
okay.
gonna go talk to the ranger. What happened? What's going on?
You go over to do that. And then, Reagan, you start wondering, where's the other backpacker? And we go back to Brandon.
What the fuck, Aaron?
love it.
This small figure, this small child, maybe 10, 9, comes walking out. And you see it walk out of behind the tree. And you start looking like, halt! Who goes there? You know? And then the child turn its head, and you see just this pale bluish figure. It opens its mouth, and just black ooze comes out of it slightly, and it just, and then its eyes, empty black, staring at you. and it starts picking up pace.
Let's go.
Another one coming from another tree, and another one, and you swear in the back of your heads, the boy.
As I was driving down the trail, did I notice if it's large enough to turn around?
Oh yeah, it's large enough to turn around.
As soon as Chris yells, "Go, go, go," he snaps to, and Pistol doesn't even take the time to holster his gun. Gun still in his palm, puts it on the handlebars, cranks it all the way to the left, and just guns it.
I need you both to make sanity checks. You just heard a voice in your say, "The boy," in ominous terms.
Yep.
Where is Sandy?
Where is my mind?
Both failures. 1d4 is both of you.
Okay.
1 point of sanity damage taken away from you, Chris. Agent Smith, 2 points. As you guys bolt the levy out of here, and all you hear in your heads is, "The boy."
Oh, does our maximum go down when we do?
No. This is just for this
Those are
event.
current. So your maximum goes down when you take unnatural. Or when you get unnatural added, it lowers your maximum. I saw that the other, yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, that's
And if you hurt your, like, you get a like what happened to Greg's character, getting some sort of an effect.
Well, no, that still doesn't affect your, like, overall, like, the 99 max. Apparently unnatural is the only thing that knocks your 99 down lower than 99.
That makes sense.
I don't even know how you gain sanity here, so.
You gain sanity by taking things from your bonds and therapy.
Meditation.
Yeah, I can technically, although we just saw,
You
it may
could
not go
technically
well.
take points away from your bonds currently instead of taking sanity points. You
Oh,
can
okay.
make shift some of that, but it does hurt you in the long run.
Yeah. Yeah, because I know there's, like, downsides to breaking your bonds, too.
Yeah, it can get very bad. Reagan, he goes to take care of that, and you notice that the other backpacker, where the hell's the other backpacker? What do you do?
Well, first I'm gonna ask the ranger what happened here. Where's the other backpacker?
I don't know. I just walked into the bathroom.
Okay. Can I walk out of the bathroom? Where even were they? They were just down here, right?
Yeah. So you walk around. You're seeing all this happening, and it's been like a minute. You're like looking around. What the hell's going on? You go to walk around the corner, and you see on the stairs, like right down the stairs, right near the entrance to the raised patio, on the first floor. You see at that doorway right there. You see the backpacker, the female backpacker, is holding in her arms like the
She's got
boy.
kid.
She's got the kid looking at you and then just bolting out the door.
Go. I go. I also go.
You go out the door and you see this. You see the woman holding on to this boy and running out into the wilderness, almost inhuman-like.
Okay. Cool.
Like looking inhuman, like it was like almost like it was robotic.
Okay, so she's changed.
Yeah, something's
Can
happened
I-
to her.
spray. Can I pepper spray her?
In this weather?
In this economy?
In this economy?
I don't have anything. I'm not a fighter. That's not what I'm here for.
I do the research. I drink and
Okay,
I know
I'm gonna give up. I'm not gonna. When I see that, when I know that she is, I'm going back inside. I'm like, we get.
So as you're turning tail, you are going back to try to save the person that's been their throat has been slit. Brandon, Agent Smith, and Alan. Is it Alan? I believe.
Yeah, Alan's the first name. Yeah.
Yeah, Alan. You're bolting back, and you suddenly see running towards you is this backpacker holding the child like over its shoulder.
And I heard them whisper the boy, right?
Yeah, you heard the boy.
They got him.
He just yells back, "Hold on," and he's gonna try to like basically cut this four-wheeler directly into their path.
And like hit the runner?
No, he's not. He's gonna try to like. They have to run at me to get any further down the trail. He's basically trying to
I want you to do a drive.
Okay.
And can we run outside after? Oh no, never mind. I can't because I'm saving that dude.
Yeah, you're trying to apply pressure, trying to save that guy's life.
Well, and I tried, but she's fast and not a person, and I have nothing to.
Well, I didn't say she wasn't a person, but you could run after her if you wanted to.
You said she was inhumanly,
inhuman, like it looked inhuman, but was running in normal paces. She just didn't look human in a sense that like something was off. Like she just looked blank, like
she wasn't running. Her gait wasn't human.
Like
she wasn't running like a human being.
Or she was, and her face there was no reaction. It was like as if she was in like some sort of state and she was just going.
Oh, so okay.
I'm sorry.
So my perception from what you said was that she was a shape-shifting servant and not a human being.
No, I would say she is a human
being.
She's a human.
Okay, then I would still be going after her.
You'd be going after her, and you so at the same time you're running after her. These guys see her coming up. I want you to do a drive to see if you can.
And to give you an idea, Aaron, since he is technically a police officer, I'm picturing that literal maneuver where it's like car sideways in the middle of the road and I'm stepping out of the car, pistol drawn, but there's no door this time, so I don't have to worry about the door. But that's my intention. Let's see how badly I fail this. I didn't.
Oh yes.
You succeed as you do like the classic like it is the action star slide as you guys, both of your guns
just
are pointing at her. Both of the guns are pointing at her. What do you guys do?
Stop.
She stops for a second.
He's just he just yells, he just literally screams FBI as his initial reaction because that's what he's trained to do. Is he's pulled his weapon, so he's just screaming FBI, stop.
Mm-hmm.
I just say you need to drop him. Drop the boy.
This is called Chase, which is kind of creepy and weird. I like it. So, as you go to do that, she looks at you, just stone-faced. And then you see behind you the other, your cohort running behind her.
Stop her! Stop her!
What do you think we're doing?
And you see her then go to bolt and run in the opposite direction into the woods, past the path. Like she's about to go run.
As he sees her start to go that direction, he fires ahead of her in that direction.
Does not stop her. She just starts to run.
I don't even know. Sorry, I'm looking at like what skills there are and stuff because
She just starts to run. She starts to run. What do you shoot and it doesn't even sway her. She just starts, like, it's almost like robotic, starts to run. Like, Chris, you can do something too at this point.
So I'm gonna take a shot at her. I don't know if he's warning shotting, but I'm taking a shot at her.
Okay, go ahead.
yeah, I was warning shotting. Yes.
You'll see there's
I'm shooting at her.
Okay, so you should see your weapons.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I can roll here. What did that do? That didn't do anything? No?
Oh, and Aaron, since I'm guessing we're doing this simultaneously, when he sees her break for a run, he tries to run back for the...
I mean, it's just my firearms, right? It's the 70%, so
yeah.
Let me just roll firearms. Oh.
Failure at 72.
God damn it.
Ooh.
Can you shoot multiple times?
Do you see your luck?
I have 15 rounds.
Do you see your do you see your luck? It says 50%, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
You can lower your luck. I'm using this from Chaos, because I like this. I like this mechanic.
Mm-hmm.
You can reduce your luck from 50%, 2% to reduce your luck. To make it successful.
Well, it won't let us manually reduce it.
In the
character sheet. But
I'm allowing it. I'm saying this
mean,
luck mechanic. I like this luck mechanic of Chaosium.
Can I just take multiple shots? Because, like, would I roll again, or how's that work?
It wouldn't be until your next turn.
Okay.
That's why I'm offering. You could lose 2 points of luck, making it 48% chance every time you roll luck, instead of 50%.
Yeah. No, I'll do that.
It makes a success as you
go.
Yeah,
no, for just 2%. Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay, go ahead and roll the damage type.
I'm just gonna make a note of the minus 2%. Damage is 1d10.
That was the one mechanic they didn't do in Delta Green. I wish they did was the luck points. I think that makes sense.
3 points of damage.
And I think that makes it more interesting and gives you guys more chances. Backpacker. Hit points. You see 3 points as it just like one shot just hits her in the chest, in her side as she's running. It's almost as if she suddenly is stunned and laid on her side, falls, and is like panting. Like she seems mortally wounded. You hit her. There's a lethality, right?
I mean, the gun actually says NA for lethality, so I would assume a gun's lethal, but
yeah, I'm treating it as lethal.
It says letality's
yeah,
NA,
you see her laying there.
I'll be like, hey, do you have cuffs?
That's what. As soon as as soon as he sees you take the shot and her go down, he stops from running to the.
So if you have cuffs, I'm gonna wait till you cuff her, and then I'm gonna apply first aid.
But yeah, that's what I'm saying is that he.
I don't want
as soon as as soon as he sees that she's down, that's what he's gonna do, the cop thing, and he's gonna go and like get the kid off of her, handcuff her, and then she gets first aid.
can I go and get the kid, but then I want to look at her, just like quickly see, like, does she have any signs? Does she have, like, is there anything visible on her?
Nothing's visible. Like, you can see, it's in the middle, it's like getting very dark. Lightning is shooting up in the air. It's getting crazy. The falling down, you suddenly see the boy suddenly waken.
I'm gonna pick him up and I'm gonna take him back inside as quickly as I can.
You see the kid is screaming at us. He's like, "They're gonna get me! They're gonna get me!" And lightning strikes down right next to your foot. Like, I mean, like, poof, right there. You see trees falling left and right, just ahead of you. To the right, where the trees are just falling down. Almost look like it's like it's almost as if the wind is picking up, but there's no wind. As it's just, they're gonna get me! They're gonna get me! They're gonna get me! They're gonna get me!
I'm not gonna let them get you. It's a lie, but I'm gonna pick him up. try to get him back inside.
You start running, and you suddenly feel something grab him. As you go to pick him up, it suddenly flings out of his hand, like it's almost like he's being flung out of your hands, and you are suddenly pushed back onto the floor as this kid goes out into the woods, like screaming as things go. Things are crazy. It's suddenly loud as it can be. The insanity of just this. The kid is screaming in your head. Screaming. I just wanted my mom! As he goes off into the darkness, and all is quiet. And all you hear is the rain and the distant thunder.
Yeah, that music had me suspenseful. Why the fuck would they send him back just to take him again?
And he's gone.
Maybe he escaped.
Let's get her inside. I'm gonna apply first aid to this lady. I mean, if he's gone that quick, I know I'm not gonna be able to catch up with him. So.
And this is where we're ending the scene for the night. I want you guys to think about how are you going to explain to people what the fuck happened? How are you going to determine how to cover this shit up? You're muted, Reagan.
Muted.
It was carbon monoxide poisoning. Everyone just kind of hallucinated a little bit.
Weather balloons.
Isn't that the go-to? Yeah, weather balloons. Gas effect.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of.
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
I mean, trust me, I'm a
come on,
meteorologist.
come on.
Weather balloons.
Hippie, backpacker cult, abducting children, had an argument. One of them killed the other one, and
We're hoping
I'm
both
not-
of them are still alive, sir. We're trying to keep both of the backpackers alive,
I'm not,
sir.
Did I
Are
keep
we?
the backpacker alive?
Yeah, it's true. One already received medical attention.
My medical is 90. I'm a surgeon, so for my surgery skill is 90.
Go ahead and give me a medicine. It's like a medicine check. Minus 20%.
Okay.
Actually, scratch that. That person who was in that bathroom was a lot longer than you would think. Minus 40. Sorry. That was a lot longer. You wouldn't have known. It was so quiet.
Okay, well, fails then.
Do you have medicine for the other hiker?
I was going to try first aid on him. on the other hiker
Okay.
because I'm outside with them.
Okay.
But my first aid's not amazing.
You're
but
gonna
I'm
do,
assuming-
yeah. Unfortunately, out in the weather, maybe you can get out of the weather and maybe be more successful. But you can try with a -20 because you're out in the rain and everything. It's pretty bad.
Oh, that's not going to happen. Yep.
Yes.
Ooh, definitely not happening.
Okay. You
I
could
do have
definitely.
a first aid kit. Is that a benefit to anything?
You.
I don't know what the first aid kit like. Does it change?
I wouldn't have helped you in the end with a 93% failure.
Yeah.
It would have just added like 20 or 30% or something like that. I guarantee it
So
was something
maybe
like that.
broken even. Yeah.
Yeah. So, in the end, one survives. The one that you did try to do first aid kit, at least you tried to do like, she survived. But unfortunately, to keep this cover up, someone has to take the blame. They, over time, start thinking maybe it wasn't this child. Some other child. And she gets blamed for the abduction of the child. You don't know, she doesn't know where the child is now, but you have persuaded in paperwork and other things that she had a handoff. Out in the woods. Took the child. And, she's sentenced to go to trial for the abduction of a child. And with that, you guys have to suffer through the guilt of knowing that something else took the kid. And to cover it all up, someone has to take the blame.
What about the parents?
The parents show up and you persuade them that it was a misunderstanding. It was someone that looked like Brandon. It wasn't. There's no way it could be.
Clearly, obviously, there's
Right.
no way.
Yeah, I mean, your kid went missing in the 80s. Come on.
This kid was 6 years old.
Yeah. Math.
That math don't math.
The math don't math. One last thing you guys need to do. Is everyone needs another sanity check.
Well, technically, the doctor was inside. Well, one of the two doctors, I should say. The medical doctor was inside.
Mm-hmm.
The guilt of having to make decisions to make someone who is not guilty, to cover up. If you have any sort of empathy, it's not good for the soul.
Thought we were talking about seeing crazy shit.
Nope. This is the aftermath of...
I'm good with this. Critical success.
the critical...
Well, this is your guys' first frame job? Really? Oh.
You only take 1 point of sanity damage.
The 2X operators. Like,
No, he
For
got a
critical
critical success because
It's-
it's a double number and it's lower.
Oh, okay. Then you get 0. But the rest of you, Oof. You take one. You take. Oh
Hey,
no.
I succeeded.
Oh, who else succeeded?
Two.
Succeeded.
Succeeded.
Regular success, yeah.
Greg and Reagan.
Barely, by
I'm
1%.
sorry. This is all long-term stuff. I need you to roll 1d10. Due to the.
Wait, the two of us? We both do?
You both do. You both failed.
Can they split it?
No.
Oh, that's good.
You take 6
That's
points.
Not as good.
Reagan. Is it? What's your? What have you hit now?
I think you're still good, right?
And
Yeah, I'm still good.
Greg, you only 3.
Yep.
You didn't heat your breaking point.
No. Is that you? Because you set a new breaking point.
Anyway.
You were 2 away from
Yeah.
breaking point. I was talking to Reagan. Sorry. Let me make sure.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
And thus is the end of this episode. One shot of Delta Green. Sometimes you don't win. There is no winning.
Nothing like a child being ripped from your arms by an unnatural force.
It is fucked up. And I'll roll that in, like, the 6 points of sanity damage is the guilt and seeing all that crap. I mean, like, it's a lot.
Yeah.
Especially for you, you're the only one that's like not an agent or prior military or anything. you're like the academic that's like, what the fuck?
And
An anthropologist
Can I
and
go back to my library now,
linguist.
please?
I hope you guys enjoyed this, because I would love to do another one of something like this, or they have campaigns too. So, like, you could do, they have like 4-episode long things, like, that are strung along, like, they're all like film noir type investigative stuff. And they are different. Like, this is one thing compared to another. So, like, you guys want a little bit of underneath the behind the curtain stuff?
Yeah.
These
Yeah.
creatures. Let me get you.
Was I close? Did I go down the right track
you
or
were
no?
going down the right track.
Okay.
I'm a huge X-Files fan, so playing a game that's kind of like that sci-fi, otherworldly thing, I love it. I love it.
Yeah, is it sci-fi? Is it supernatural?
Yeah,
Is it?
like,
Yeah.
I love those types of shows, so.
Let me get
Ugh,
you guys.
The Winchesters. So cute.
Okay. The truth. The found boy is Brandon McGill. He has spent most of his last 36 years in a dream state in hollow lava craters 5.5 kilometers beneath the Earth's surface. A prisoner of the Kinyani, a strange advanced offshoot of humanity that has existed since time immemorial. The Kinyani have struggled to use humans of the surface, whom they consider sub-beings, as breeding stock and food supplies. Their race is ancient and immortal, but also dwindling. What was once a civilization of hundreds of thousands is now, through time and circumstance, merely hundreds. For centuries, since their retreat from the multiplying hordes of sub-beings, the Kinyani have snatched humans from the surface using their hyper-geometric powers. They are the source of legend of the moon-faced people, fought by the Sioux in the ancient times, as well as the giant pale cannibals of the Puat legend. They may be responsible for the Serpent Mound and other structures built by the mysterious Adena mound builder culture. The modern world, the Kinyani have kept it to places where they can stay well hidden. Most of their structures are so deep that no human can encroach on them. Their power allowed them to move through space-time in unnatural ways. There is no passage into their blue-lit caverns that a human may traverse, but a few Kiani can remain about the surface as needed. With McGill, the Kiani found something they long sought: human genetic compatibility with their own. For decades, through communion with their god, Asadagawa, they have infected the boy with alien materials that caused him to produce the substance called Itzil Ixtak, the white blood. which you guys never got to experience. They have harvested enough stock from McGill to begin repopulating and feeding their once great cities. McGill was a genetic sow, even producing what they needed and keeping in a state of stasis which halted his memories as well as his aging. He woke only briefly from time to time to be fed special substances culled from the Asadagwa. But the continuous ingestion of substances from the Asadagwa had transformed McGill and awakened him in vast and terrifying powers. A simple child's nightmare was all it took for McGill to lay waste to dozens of Kenyani. The boy destroyed his captors and thought himself back to the surface. He still seems like a child. He's actually a dangerous killing machine, vital to the resurrection of the Kenyani. But it is worse. The Kenyani made duplicates of Brandon McGill. Many, many duplicates. Some more true than others, serving as food for ritual purposes and for production of the substance the Kenyani require. These duplicates seem to be awakening like the first McGill. In turn, one by one, they escape. The Kenyani are bent on locating and securing the original Brandon Gill, the first. The other Brandons are disposable. And that was one of my options, was to suddenly, out of nowhere, another ranger comes up with another Brandon McGill. And how fucked up that is. But I like the way this went this way, with you guys separating, and because this felt more real. This felt like more of a real situation where you're like all fucked. It's a fucked up situation that I feel would really happen. There was many outcomes. There was ways that you guys could have researched to save them. If you looked on the map, you'll see a waterway with a what's it called? A dam. And the dam could have been used to help you guys. If you released the dam, it would have caused a lot of havoc and problems, but it would have kept the Kenyani away. But you guys wouldn't have known that stuff all the time. You know, like, it all depends on how you guys were going to run this. This is so open-ended.
Interesting.
It makes you feel like you are so tiny, there's nothing you can do.
Yeah, but I will say though, that feeling game after game after game would get old.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think that's the only thing I could see. Like, this was really fun and Friday was really fun, but like, if every single session is like a bummer, you got destroyed, like over time, it's not going to be fun.
And there's better outcomes, and like the other games,
you gotta have some wins sometime. You know?
And it's possible. It is possible to have a win, but
that's one of the things they talk about in the Strahd manual, where they were like, look, you know, survival, like, horror is awesome, but you do have to have a change of mood, you know, sometimes, or it just becomes, you know, yeah. So, but yeah, this was really cool. It's like, holy cow, it feels like.
And this stuff
really, really hard to win.
Yeah, this stuff is in the handlers. Well, here's the thing. Technically, you won. It's not like you didn't win.
Yeah,
you're still alive. No one died.
True.
No, somebody definitely died.
No one in your group died. No one.
Yeah,
in your group
but the
felt aggrieved.
backpacker died. I don't know. I like the researching bit. Nothing that I read was anything like what you talked about, though, Aaron. So I don't know that what I found was helpful at all.
You were talking about these immortals, these gods.
You were talking about their god.
Yeah.
And you were talking about they are in the caves.
Yeah.
That's the same premise. They were all coming from these caves, these dark caves. They lived underground. It was kind of their thing. So yes, you were in the right direction. It was their god. Asadagwa was their god.
I just spent too long interrogating the kid and sent him into a fugue state. So you can blame it on me.
And there's many, like, here's the great thing is I could play this game again with, like, you guys and play something completely different. There's different ways we could play this. Like, it could go a different route.
Yeah.
And that's what's so cool
Like you
about
said,
these.
'cause it's so open-ended.
It's so
I mean, if
open-ended.
you're playing it like a, you know, like a season of X-Files or Supernatural, where yes, most of the things are wins, but then you hit episodes where it's like you feel like
Uneasy.
you lost. You know, yeah.
It was an uneasy win or a...
I agree with Greg, where it's like you have to have wins in there to balance out the like. Well,
Yeah.
I feel like I lost, even though I technically may have won. Like,
Yeah, you got to have like some kind of like I don't know. Or yeah.
And I understand why they made these. Like, this was in the handler's guide, and that the one we played before in the on Friday, Greg, was from was on the in the need to know in the introduction.
That one on Friday was so cool too because the props were so good and there were so many props and there were things to like clues in the props and like it was fun. Like I think today the props were more about helping you understand maybe the potential, but like the one on Friday there were actually cool clues in the props where if you looked in the props there were things that could help you, you know, make decisions and man, that was fun. That was really cool.
All right, and I'm not saying this one wasn't nearly. I don't know. This one was fun too, but not nearly as fun. It was just different. It's a different type of camp. This was a different type of level.
It was the role play on this one was really good. I mean, yeah, this was fun too. It really was.
Yeah. And I'm looking at. I did because there was a Black Friday deal for all these campaigns. I have gone ahead and bought one campaign. And with the intention that maybe the online group or the home group would play it. And it's like 4 episodes, but some of these episodes are 1 or 2 sessions, you know, and they're much bigger and they have a lot of handouts, like over like 300 plus handouts and stuff. And
Wow.
if you guys are interested in not just Delta Green, but if you'd love to do like, I would love to do like after D&D, if we guys were interested in like Call of Cthulhu 1920 style, which is very similar to this, I'm all about doing that campaign. It's the Imhotep, or not Imhotep, I can't remember the name of it. It's a famous one. It's one of their best ones they've ever made. And they have over like 600 plus handouts.
That's intense. Is it easier when there's all of this stuff pre-built for you, or is it
Yeah, so like
harder
this one,
to manage?
yeah, this was pre-built, so this was super easy for me to manage and build together. So like the Call of Cthulhu, let me go back. No, it's not what I wanted.
Yeah. If you were to see some of the props he had from the other night, like I don't even know how you would. I mean, I guess you could build it yourself, but it would take a lot of work.
Let me just get the name of it. And then I'll let you guys go. Because the rules are kind of similar.
Right? Excuse me?
It's one of their most popular ones, and it's large.
Borg.
It's a 7th edition. can't believe I can't find it. What is it called? The Masks of Nyarlathotep. Nyarlathotep. I can't say it correctly. The actual books, Volume 1 and Volume 2, are $131. $130.
Oh, wow.
They're massive books, with like. It's insane. Let's see. The PDF is $60. And it has 6 pages, 12 pages of NPCs, 85 pages of keeper reference booklets, 96 pages of handout booklets. It's a 96-page handout booklet with maps and pre-generated characters.
Wow.
It's a massive game, and it's not about maps in the sense of, it's much more like this. It's much more like, you're investigating, you're figuring things out. It's from one investigation to the next, and it's set in the 1940s, I think, 1930s, 1940s. And if you guys are interested in that, I'd be more than interested in playing that too. That's a long-term campaign that goes on for who knows how long. They can go on forever. And I believe they do.
Nope, not for me. This is already too scary.
Spooky.
Well, it didn't scare you to death or anything. I'd hope, but
You're not dead yet.
I hope you still. I hope in the end you ended up enjoying it. It wasn't something like that frightening that you're like, I'm turned off from this game. But
It's not my favorite thing.
It's just really cool compared to D&D. It's a very different feel. So
Very different system.
I'm going to stop the stream.